already paid for it. I don't foresee a head coaching change. I don't think there should be a head coaching change. I know there are some people that feel like there should. I don't. But Vrabel's going to have to make changes to his staff, and he's going to have to, as loyal as he is, going to have to get off of that. And I think he will. I do think Todd Downing won't be the offensive coordinator next year. But then whoever the new GM is, they're going to have to sit in a room and they're going to have to come up with a plan of what they want to do. Do they want to try and salvage this and just chalk it up as, well, we had a lot of key guys hurt, including the quarterback. Let's make some tweaks. Let's rebuild the offensive line, but keep the core pieces, meaning Henry, Tannehill, in place, get Simmons re-signed, get Long re-signed, all of that? Or do we blow it up and start from scratch with a top 10 pick?
Well, they're going to have to figure something out. She chose to fire Robinson already. She did that. I do believe that moving forward now, the clock should start on Vrabel as well. Because, again, this mess that they're in didn't start and end with John Robinson. It didn't. Everybody had a hand in this, even the owner. So to say that, that Vrabel is completely exonerated from everything that went on, that's completely wrong. Because you came in saying they were tied to the hip. You gave them both extensions in February, and then you choose to fire one and keep the other. Well, the clock should start on Vrabel as well. As good as this team has been for the last 5 years, they've made progress. But in the last 2 years or 3 years, and this is just my opinion, this roster and this team have not gotten better. They haven't. They've stayed stagnant. It just so happens that the AFC South has gotten worse each and every year. This team hasn't gotten any better.
No.
I don't think this team has gotten better to a point where they are now in the playoffs. I'm picking them over Kansas City or Buffalo. I'm picking them over what other team out there? I don't know in the AFC. Baltimore or Miami, or whoever else.
Sure.
This team hadn't gotten better to a point where now I'm starting to pick them as heavy favorites in the AFC.
Yeah, look, because you look at Jacksonville and you go, that team's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
They're not going away.
No.
And that's where they are right now. Coming up next, we'll get to your call. Scott, hang tight, 615-737-1025. Titans and Cowboys on Thursday night at Nissan Stadium. We will discuss that. We'll also talk to Rick Stockstill of MTSU about their big win in the Hawaii Bowl. We'll do that coming up at 11. It's Chase, Willie, and D-Mace presented by Hair Club, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
Want a chance to win tickets to an upcoming Preds game?
Yes.
Tune in to Robbie and Rex Road every weekday Preds game day at 8:45 for Preds Pick to Click. Guess a goal scorer and win.
I will take Roman Yost.
Matt Duchene. Pick to Click is brought to you by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty. Visit tjandersonhomes.com to see why they are referred so often. And by Superbook Sports, voted #1 sportsbook in Vegas. Download their app today.
Preds Pick to Click.
We are 102.5 and 106.3 The Game.
Winning this award is truly like winning the Super Bowl of car dealer awards for Mercedes-Benz.
Edwin Vickery, General Manager of Mercedes-Benz of Music City.
Culture eats strategy for lunch. You have to hit on all cylinders to win this award. You can strategize all you want. You got to still have the right tools, and our tools are our people.
Live the dream with 3-time Mercedes-Benz Best of the Best award winner, Mercedes-Benz of Music City. Go to mbofmc.com.
Now's the time to get a great deal on select Kubota compact tractors, rated #1 in durability and owner experience. They're designed for easy operation and feature performance-matched attachments. Right now, put 0 down and get 0% APR for up to 48 months, plus save up to $1,100. Now through December 31st. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Visit Coleman Tractor Company, your local Kubota dealer in Clarksville, Nashville, Paris, and White House today.
Want to kick off the new year without any credit card debt? If that sounds good to you, you can do it with Loan Pronto's Express Equity line of credit. Wipe out all those credit card bills right now. Hey, Willie Donick here. rates are down, and it's a great move to get on more solid financial footing for the new year. You don't have to do a full home refi. You can tap a portion of the equity you have and enjoy a rate that's a whole lot less than what the banks charge on credit cards. With Loan Pronto's Express Equity Credit Line, you can close in 7 to 10 days. You can access up to 95% of your home's equity. Use that money to pay off those high-interest credit card loans of any type. Credit cards, personal loans, car loans, whatever. Consolidate everything into one easy payment. Even if you did a whole total refi last year, you can tap the equity with this fast, easy program and keep your main loan intact. Call Loan Pronto, 615-499-5780. That's 615-499-5780, or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
Your weekend plans just got easier. Almost Friday Sporting Club is the hottest new place to watch the game and hang with your squad. Steps from Broadway with quick parking, an incredible food and drink menu, 21 screens with every game on, games, DJs, and all the fun you can handle. Come hang out at Almost Friday Sporting Club. If it's not Friday, it's Almost Friday. AlmostFridayNash.com. Commence Suckdown!
NFL Week 17, folks, started off right with NFL same-game parlay insurance from FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Joe Richard here to let you know it doesn't matter if you're new to FanDuel or if you have an account already. You're going to get free bets back if your 4-plus leg Thursday night same-game parlay falls one leg short. NFL same-game parlays, of course, are the perfect way to combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payday. Local interest here with this one, Cowboys at Titans. You know, Cowboys are still technically alive after beating the Eagles. So I think Dak Prescott's absolutely going to play, and I think he's going to play well against that Titans defense. I'd go over passing yards. I actually think Derrick Henry gets an anytime touchdown too, and I like the Cowboys in this game. You know, I think that the Cowboys playing much better. The Titans don't have a lot of incentive, except they just need to turn things around. Build your own and choose from one of the popular same-game parlays pre-built for your FanDuel's operating sportsbook app, however you want to play. Bet it Thursday night. Sign up promo code Joe102 if you don't have an account. If you do, you're all set. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or older in present Tennessee. First online money wager must be 21 or older in present Tennessee. Refund issued is now available. Free bets expire 7 days after receipt. Max free bet $25. Restrictions apply. See terms and sports at FanDuel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line 800-8899-789.
Can't get enough Vanderbilt basketball?
Intercepted right all by himself for a one-hand flush.
Your home for the Commodores is 93.3 Classic Hits.
Put it up. It's good. Count it.
Join Coach Jerry Stackhouse and his team on their journey through the SEC.
Pulls a trigger. Yes, from three.
Check out Vandy Hoops on 93.3 Classic Hits and the Classic Hits app.
Hey Nashville, this is Vanderbilt head coach Jerry Stackhouse. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Chase Willie D-Mace, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Is presented by Hair Club. Love your hair, live your life, creating custom hair solutions for men and women. We're live today at Almost Friday, downtown Nashville. It's 4th Avenue, 4th and Peabody. Really cool atmosphere. They're going to have a special game day happy hour from 3 to 6. Game night menu throughout the Titans and Cowboys. Plus, we're giving away a merch bundle, a hoodie / sweater, a shirt, and an Arctic thermos. So you must come by and say hi and all of that to register to win. For that, we got our crew here, Lance, Matthew. They're on site for that. So please come on by. We'll be here, of course, until 2 o'clock. NFL pregame today at Sonny's in Germantown. So we're all over the place. Let's go to the phone, 615-737-1025. Scott wants to weigh in on the Titans and J-Rob in particular. Scott, welcome in.
Well, as soon as I got put in the queue, Willie made every single one of my points. I think the firing of J-Rob scuttled the season narrative is a media narrative that is way overblown. There's a bit of an echo chamber, particularly on this station, particularly in the afternoon, where it just gets repeated back and forth to each other, and it's accepted as fact. But I don't know that anyone in the locker room cares that much that someone in the front office is fired. It doesn't really impact their play, but we've got a practice squad offensive line. I don't think J-Rod still being here would fix that. We've got a practice squad quarterback. Other than Byard and McCreary, we've got a practice squad secondary. That has nothing to do with the firing. And if the locker room was divided, I think it was probably much more divided over, a coach, a coordinator being allowed to break the rules and drink on the plane and then not get punished for it. Whereas if any of the players had gotten a DUI, that would have had swift punishment on them. I think that probably was more divisive than the firing of the general manager, and that probably had a lot to do with the firing of the general manager, if you really think about it. So, I mean, the injuries by far are the reason this team is losing, and the mismanagement of the roster in the offseason, which is why we don't have good backups on the offensive line. Number one, that falls on J-Rob and all the wasted draft picks and the questionable non-signings and re-signings. So I mean, I don't think that the firing of the general manager really impacts the play all that much. If you ask the players, the quality of player that's out there is the biggest reason we're losing. And the DUI probably had a lot more to do with it than the firing of the GM.
Thanks, Scott. Appreciate it. Good call. And I think a lot of people, you're going to have mixed feelings on that. And what I've been saying is not necessarily that it's a distraction in the locker room, but it's a trickle-down effect. I think the head coach has been distracted. I think he's had to deal with a lot more than he had planned on this year, and because he's the one that faces the media.
Yeah.
She doesn't. She did an interview with Teresa Walker. That's it. She doesn't sit up there and take questions in a press conference. Vrabel does. Vrabel was the one that had to go and deal with it. So you can't tell me for a second that wasn't a distraction for him. Now, he handled it, but they haven't won.
No.
They're on a 5-game losing streak. So I'm going to put 2 and 2 together. There's, people want to say it's a media-driven narrative. I mean, I'm just calling it like I see it.
Yeah, I don't understand why when something happens and it's clear what's going on that sometimes, it's a media-driven. The media is driving this narrative. No, this is the narrative that was set. When you do something, when your actions possibly cause a reaction, you can't then blame it on those that are talking about it. You can't say, well, no, y'all are driving this. Y'all are doing this. No, we're not. We're just commenting based on what you have done.
Yeah.
Listen, like Willie said, well, if you want to say it didn't hurt, it sure enough didn't help.
No.
You can't tell me that firing the GM helped this squad this year. I can probably have more of an argument that it hurt because they're on a 5-game losing streak. And they've lost to teams that many had already put a W down. They've lost to teams that, frankly, honestly, were not better than them. At least 2 of them. That Houston Texan game, you can't tell me Houston Texans are better than the Tennessee Titans. Well, they were last Sunday.
Yeah.
You can't tell me that Jacksonville was more experienced and better than the Titans. Well, they were that day. They got a good team, but they don't know how to win. But you allowed them. You gave them the ball 4 times and allowed them to win that game.
Yep.
So when you say, well, that had nothing to do with it, believe me, I've been in locker rooms where coaches have been fired, everything else. Players, it affects you because you got to talk about it.
Yep.
You walk in the locker room, it's like, man, what are they doing? That's the
You're
first
talking
thing.
about it with each other?
With each other. It's like, and then people are calling you, what's going on? Why did they fire you? Why did they fire your GM? They're asking you these questions. So again, with a organization that prides themselves on no distractions.
Yep.
Vrabel has said that vehemently, no distractions. Well, we had 2 in less than a month, a DUI, and then you fire your GM. And if a player gets a DUI, I want to correct the man on this, they don't automatically suspend him.
Yeah,
it has to go through the legal process,
just
like it would a head coach or a GM or anybody else. It has to go per the collective bargaining. It has to go. Now, some GMs or head coaches might get pressure from the outside to do something.
Well, and the commissioner, correct me if I'm wrong, Goodell does have he can administer discipline.
Exactly, but he has to. He tries to let it go through the process.
Yeah.
Unless it's just so egregious that you got to do something.
Yeah.
But other than that, it goes through the same process that that a head coach or an offensive coordinator would go through.
Yeah.
I know somebody that something happened to them and they didn't get suspended right then and there, but they got suspended once everything was kind of brought to light and they went through the legal process.
Right.
Then you get suspended. So the guys are not upset about that whole drinking thing and whatnot. Believe me, I've seen it. I've been there.
Yeah.
They don't care about that stuff. Now, when you start affecting them, firing coaches or GMs or releasing players, that does affect them in some way.
I think that's a great point, Derek, about from the outside, where you're getting a lot of people from the outside calling you and saying, what's going on? And then you can't help but naturally, as a group, internally saying, what are they doing up there? But I don't think they use that as an excuse. I do think they still were good enough to scratch out another win. But you cannot get around the fact that they have been decimated by injuries.
Sure.
Decimated.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way around that. And that makes it tough. How often did we talk about, over the last 2 years, all of the analytics about how well they've been able to win the close games? And that age-old argument, is that a skill or is that a little bit of good fortune? Or is it a little bit of both? And maybe they're not quite as fortunate as they've been to be able to eke out some games, especially when they've one by one had some of their best players taken off the field, injury by injury.
What is the phrase that John Hines has used, will over skill? And I don't, I think this team kind of had some of that, but they're so decimated by injury that you can have all the will in the world, but you're going to need a little skill at the end of the day.
Yeah, the caller was right about that. This team has been decimated.
It keeps decreasing week by week. Every week they come out with less, and tonight will be the worst that they've ever put out there.
Yeah, I mean, look, they're
in terms of level of talent.
I say this tongue-in-cheek, and I mean no disrespect to the guys playing the game tonight, because this is a great opportunity for a lot of guys, but they're basically putting an XFL team out against the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, that's really the best analogy, that you're not going to have Derrick Henry.
Mm-hmm.
So that means your starting running back is going to be Hassan Haskins and then Julius Chestnut. Those will be your running backs.
Uh-huh.
You will have Traylon Burks. Okay,
Yeah.
great. But you're going to likely have Malik Willis. I wouldn't be shocked if you don't see Dobbs at some point. You got to see what you got. You signed the guy. So, I don't know.
Because they're going to have to play with one of these guys.
Yeah, look, Tannehill's
against Jacksonville.
Tannehill's not going to play. Anybody that – I'm not going to – I mean, look.
It's not 100%, but it's not looking good.
I would say less than 20% he plays against Jacksonville, if you believe all the reports that are out there. That's just kind of how I feel. We'll get back to your phones coming up next. Live at Almost Friday today, it's Chase Willie D-Mace, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
Every Wednesday at noon.
No matter the down and distance and no matter the score, they're going to give him the football.
Outkick 360's Jonathan Hutton joins Chase, Willie, and D-Mace to talk all things Titans and NFL.
I hope that they're not throwing flags simply because the league wants to see more of them.
He's got opinions and insights on the two-tone blue.
They are not as good at wide receiver and the playmaking department.
Catch Hutton every Wednesday at noon. Presented by Blend Bar with Davidoff Cigars and by Edley's Barbecue on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
I'm Fox 17 Code Red meteorologist Greg Bobus. A very warm day ahead of us. High temperatures low 60s, fairly overcast, and the possibility of a few very light, isolated, short rain showers cannot be ruled out from the towards the afternoon.
Brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
If you've got a yard, you may plan on digging in it. Like to build an addition, put in a pool, or bury your pirate booty. But you should know that throughout the country, there may be pipelines buried underground. And if you hit one, you've got trouble. Sorry. So before you dig, call 811 to have any buried pipelines located and marked at no charge. For more tips on pipeline safety, visit pipesafety.org. A message from the Tennessee Gas Association, Tennessee Association of Broadcasters, and this station.
So many choices. Be careful. She is dangerously seductive. Tastes too good to be whiskey. Oil Fire Whiskey is now in Tennessee. If they don't have it, ask them to get it or go somewhere else. Oil Fire. There is nothing quite like it. Looking for a career with purpose or have that passion for youth development? Boys and Girls Clubs of Middle Tennessee provides a safe place where youth gain the tools to learn, lead, and reach their full potential. And that starts with you, offering competitive pay and free after-school care for employees. Learn more at bgcmt.org.
It's Family Leisure's half off after Christmas sale.
Up to half off on floor models, scratch and dent, and discontinued merchandise.
Theater seating with two-piece sets starting at only $6.99. Massage chairs are only $9.99 as well.
Air hockey and foosball tables in stock and on sale starting at just $1.99.
Hundreds of full tables in stock for immediate delivery. Slate full tables starting at just $14.99 installed.
Above ground pools are all on sale with 24-foot starting at only $29.99 installed.
Family Leisure's up to half off after Christmas sale going on now.
Antioch and Franklin.
Jared Stillman.
If you get 3 games where he doesn't turn the ball over, you're going to the Super Bowl.
Caroline Fenton.
I don't know if he would be open to joining another team.
Stillman and Company. Afternoons from 2 to 6.
Presented by TriStar Moving.
On Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And on the Game Nashville app. This is Chase, Willie, and D-Mace on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and on the Game Nashville app.
Six 615-737-1025. Chase, Willie, D-Mace, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chase McCabe, Derek Mason, Willie Donick with you. Derek and I are at Almost Friday in downtown Nashville. Willie's in Anaheim, California. Predators and Ducks tomorrow. With a 3 o'clock pregame that I will have for you on 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Happy birthday to Nick. Let's go back to our phone, 615-737-1025. John wants to weigh in on the Titans struggling to win. John, welcome in.
Hey, guys. How are you?
Good.
Hey, Derek. I'm still trying to get over you going over to Baltimore, but I almost got it by me.
Hey, was it?
Hey, guys, I'm the biggest fan of. I've been a fan since 1978 of this team. I've been following them forever, and what I want to say is, this is all on Amy Adams because she totally blindsided Vrabel. I mean, you could just tell the way he was after the firing and the way he's coaching, and I'm just saying this totally blindsided Vrabel. Vrabel is a great. I think he's a good coach. Going to be a great coach, and he prepares for everything. Well, he didn't prepare for this. I mean, this totally blindsided him, and it totally blindsided the team. Now we have 5 games lost. Obviously, we're probably not going to win tonight. But, I'm still upset about the firing of John Robinson. I think he deserved a chance to try to turn this thing around because he created a great culture here. We didn't have a great football culture, and for her to do that was just, I think, is ridiculous.
All right, thanks for the call, John. I want to ask this, and Willie, I'm curious of your answer first on this. We sit here and we go, the 2 COVID drafts were the worst for John Robinson. This is where the turn really started with 2020 and 2021. 2022, I think is going to turn out to be a decent draft. Still, question marks, but I think overall it's probably going to turn out to be okay. I think Petit Frere is a rookie, but you probably have your right tackle, at least a swing offensive lineman with a 3rd-round pick. Who knows on Willis? I think Burks is going to be okay. I think McCrary is going to be okay. It's the 2 COVID drafts and then the A.J. Brown trade that ultimately led to his firing. And we sit here and we say, well, other teams figured it out. Should he have gotten more of a pass on the 2 COVID drafts than maybe he's been given?
Well, we talked to David Poyle about that, and he said it was definitely different. I think anybody who was involved in those drafts would say it was different. And the phrase that stood to me with David Poyle was, he said, if you were good and you got good players out of that draft, you might have been a little lucky as well as good, right? And so not to discount what they tried to do, but it was definitely out of the routine. I don't think you get a pass for that, but those definitely hurt, not coming out of the draft with more of that. I still think, guys, that we're going to feel a lot different if they're able to win next week against the Jaguars. Right now it is such a low, and I don't expect it to be any different tomorrow with the feeling if they lose tonight. It's going to be But I would like to just see what they look like if they can get some of these guys back, and they beat the Jags and they make it to the playoffs. That's going to be a very different feeling than if they lose and then lose again, and they completely spiral downhill. I think those are two totally different things, because right now it looks so bleak. But I do think if you give them a reasonable amount of these guys back, they're not a bad team. They're still a pretty good team, and that will lead to all kinds of questions about next year, who makes the picks, who's the GM. I mean, it's going to be an incredible offseason either way, but it's going to feel a little bit better if they're able to beat the Jaguars next week.
Of course.
Yeah, it's going to feel better, but is it going to help this team moving forward? The organization will have a spot in the playoffs. They would have won the AFC South, but will it make them a better team in the long run? It's not like they're winning a division that's stacked and they had to scratch and claw and fight to win it. Well, they had to possibly scratch and claw and fight to win it because of their colossal failure these past 5, going on 6 and 7 games. If they don't win this game, they come back and win the other one. To me, it still was it's a failed season because no one looks at them, even if they get in the playoff, as being a threat. They're not bringing any more healthy players in on this roster. So the team that you see against the Jacksonville Jaguars, if they do win, is the team you're going to see in the playoffs. Does it help this team moving forward with draft picks and everything else? I don't know if it does because of the way they've fallen off and where this roster is and where this roster projects to be moving forward. They got a lot of things to do, a lot of reshuffling to do in the offseason. And I don't know if making the playoffs, helps them in that sense.
Yeah, I mean, and that's kind of where that's the thing. But something that I was just reading a text that so that's why I'm a little distracted because I think this is a good text. The firing of the GM, where the distraction comes in, and I think one reason why we're semi in this situation is you basically told the guys in the locker room, "Oh, you don't think we're good enough because you fired the guy that brought us here." That's I think that's how some people view this. And
that's the prevailing theme that I think Joe Rexrode wrote the day after Eagles game, or after in the aftermath of all of that. And I do wonder if that's out there. I think if you're a pro, it's better, but it's got a lot more to do with Ryan Tannehill getting hurt. When you lose your quarterback, and this is the other thing that, maybe this is a lot on Robinson, but the decision they collectively made to put Malik Willis in as the backup quarterback from the start, right? They could have decided, we've drafted this guy, but we've got to commit to this guy long term and do the best thing for him. Again, this is hindsight, but we were saying this when we were watching him take those reps in the preseason. He was very raw, and we knew it was going to be a project. They knew when they drafted him it was going to be a project. It was unrealistic to think he could go directly from being in that spread system right into a pro system. They said it from the start. This is going to take some time, but yet they made him the backup quarterback. Didn't carry a third quarterback on the roster. They clearly didn't believe in Logan Woodside and certainly made the decision long ago not to try to come in with somebody like a Gardner Minshew or, a better level of backup quarterback. They rolled the dice that Ryan Tannehill would not get hurt and they wouldn't have to use a backup quarterback. And instead, they've left themselves with Malik Willis in a position to fail. And look, all these other things haven't helped, right? The offensive line breaking down. Burks getting hurt. They traded A.J. Brown. They haven't been able to surround him with anything to work with, and you get what you get.
Yeah, I'm just looking at that draft, that what was it, 2021 draft? I mean, 20 draft and the 21 draft.
Yeah, it's two worst by far.
Yeah, they're two worst. But even in that, you found your two starting corners in Elijah Moden and Christian Fulton. You found your two solid corners in this league. You know, and everybody else, Racy McMath, the jury's still out on him. You know, can he be a third wide receiver? I'm not talking about him being a starter, but I'm saying him being a third wide receiver potentially. But take those two draft picks out because everybody's screaming about he can't draft. And y'all talk about, you know, they talk about the us on radio pushing the narrative. This is the narrative that everybody's pushing on Robinson. I go back and I'm looking at his drafts, and I'm looking at players that he got that help contribute to this team's winning and help contribute in a big way, whether it was Jonnu Smith, whether it was Jack Conklin, whether it was Derrick Henry, Kevin Byard, Corey Davis, Adoree Jackson. Now, they didn't keep these guys.
That's the
Harold
problem.
Harold Landry. You can go on and on. This man has had some good drafts. Stop pushing that damn narrative. You say we pushing the narrative. Well, y'all start pushing the narrative that he's had just these horrible drafts. He had two drafts that were not good. That he got basically two drafts he got two players out of. Two starting corners. That's it. Now, if that's why you fired him, okay. But don't make it seem like since he's gotten here, he's just drafted. He's drafted all pros. He's drafted future Hall of Famers. I mean, this guy has done a good job at rebuilding his team. Every GM don't go 100 for 100.
Yeah, sure. And
but,
he drafted Derrick Henry. He's
exactly.
got that.
I mean, come on.
He's got that. All right, we'll get back into the Titans and the Cowboys coming up in a little bit. But up next, it was a big win for MTSU as they beat San Diego State in the Hawaii Bowl. We'll talk to their head coach, Rick Stockstill, next here on 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
You love the game.
Predators win it in overtime. Touchdown, Tennessee.
We live the game.
My quarterback needs me to step up.
He can make a defense pay.
We are.
1, 2, 3, 4. I think it was a good game. You had a couple of big plays.
The Game. Nashville's best sports talk. 102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And the Game Nashville app.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Didn't get what you wanted for Christmas? Never fear. Hi-Fi Buy's legendary after Christmas sale is here. We're grossly overstocked and need to reduce inventory now. Most items are at or slightly above dealer cost. Make an offer. Any reasonable offer accepted. Stunningly low prices on high-performance products. Even better prices on high-end display models. Don't miss out. Hi-Fi Buy's legendary after Christmas sale is on now.
Retail store only. Manufacturers that prohibit discounting excluded.
College football season is here. Finally, it's me, Caroline Fenton, and you already know that I am pumped up for college football season. And Southeastern Carolines, you know that 312 Pizza Company is my favorite place in town. 312 Pizza Company is a family-owned restaurant located in the heart of Germantown, serving up authentic Chicago-style eats right here in Music City. You can catch every down of the college football season at 312 Pizza Company. From week 1 of the national championship, 312 Pizza Company is your home for college football season.
Harman Energy is now hiring drivers for their Nashville team. Harman Energy is Tennessee's petroleum solution for major industries. Right now, they're offering competitive compensation. Fuel tank wagon drivers start at $26 an hour. Fuel transport drivers, $29 an hour. Plus, there's a $4,000 sign-on bonus for CDL drivers. Top quality benefits and a great place to work, Harman Energy employees provide totally outrageous customer service. Come be an employee owner with the Harman team. Apply now at harmanenergy.com. Now is a fantastic time to sell in Nashville, but you can't do it without the intel. And no one has better intel than the Gary Ashton team. You may be wondering, what is this intel I keep hearing about? Intel so you can sell your home without any staging or showings. Intel on where to find your next home so you can sell your current one while the market's hot. Intel that helps you win the buyer battle and cash in on your home equity now. Everyone else is getting the same information and competing for the same properties. GaryAshton.com gives you the edge with the best real estate intel in Nashville. No one else even comes close. Plus, the Gary Ashton team is the official real estate agent for the Preds. Get the confidence to sell your home and find your dream address without the stress. Call the Gary Ashton team with RE/MAX Advantage today at 615-301-1650 or visit GaryAshton.com. And remember, don't sell without the intel.
Live from the Game Nashville studios. WPRT-FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne.
Robbie and Rex Road, Chase, Willie, and D-Mace.
Stillman Company. Nashville's best sports talk. 102.5 and 106.3.
Rank City score! On both sides of the one big possession.
Touchdown, Middle Tennessee.
The Game.
A Cromwell media station.
These are battles. These are grinds. We don't panic. We don't freak out. That's how we're built.
1, 2, 3, 9. This is your drive to the playoffs update. Presented by Coleman Tractor, Tennessee's largest Kubota dealer. On 102.5 and 106.3. The Game and the Game Nashville app.
It's game day in Nashville, and the Titans have already ruled out some notable players. Ryan Tannehill, Jeffrey Simmons, Nicholas Petit-Frere, Monty Hooker, Bud Dupree, Zach Cunningham, Dylan Cole, and Josh Thompson. Not officially ruled out yet, but doubtful to play, Derrick Henry, Christian Fulton, and Danico Autry. Week 18 will determine who takes the AFC South in Jacksonville. Mike Vrabel said at this point, they're just trying to fight for a playoff spot.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we're all, we're all fighting for is to get into the tournament and then figure out a way to do that. We have a game Thursday. We have a huge opportunity in front of us, on a national stage. And I think that, again, whether you look at some of these games that were close and for other reasons didn't go our way, that's disappointing because you had some opportunities. And you could say, well, it was because of this or that, or, you're beating the Jaguars and you turn it over 4 times and don't do a good enough job on sudden change on defense, or then you go out to L.A. and, it's competitive and it's on and on and on. But now it's focusing on, where we're at with the Cowboys.
Kickoff is set for 7:15 tonight. This report is presented by Coleman Tractor. I'm Michelle Knezovic for 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
Now let's see if we can bring them to life, all right?
Bringing you entertainment and informative sports talk during your workday.
Smart, funny, classy, and I like him a lot.
This is Chase, Willie, and D-Mace with Chase McCabe, Willie Donick,
Mason, touchdown, Tennessee,
and former NFL wide receiver Derek Mason. Presented by Hair Club. Hair Club. Love your hair. Live your life. On Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And on the Game Nashville app.
Chase, Willie, D-Mace, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chase McCabe, Derek Mason, Willie Donick with you. Chase and Derek at Almost Friday in downtown Nashville, the Holiday Inn at 4th and Peabody. Willie is in Anaheim, California. And we say hello now to Rick Stockstill, head coach of the Middle Tennessee State Blue Raiders, fresh off a Hawaii Bowl win, 25-23 over San Diego State. Coach, how you doing?
I'm great. How you guys doing?
Oh, we're fantastic. I know that you're feeling good. It made the holiday better because your team got a hard-fought win to close out the season, your 8th win of the season. But watching that game and talking about it, Coach, this is why you play 60 minutes. Your team was down 14-0, but you didn't give up. You scratched and clawed, and you ended up getting the victory. I know you had to be proud of your guys.
Extremely. Kind of just typified the character of our team. You look at it, you go back to the last regular season game, we're down whatever, 4 or 5 points, 3 or 4, whatever it was, with, a couple minutes left in the game, and we find a way to come back and win that one. And just these guys got a never give up attitude. We come to work every day, whether we win on Saturday or lose on Saturday. We always came back on Sunday with a great work ethic. We didn't listen to, all the outside stuff, and just whether it was good or bad, you just stay focused and control what you can control, and that's how hard we work and how hard we compete, how hard we prepare, and that's what we did. And it was that's a tough trip, as you know, going for an East Coast team going to Hawaii.
Yeah.
We got there Monday afternoon or Monday right before dinner, and then you practice Tuesday morning, and that was by far our worst practice of the year. It was just terrible. Probably a lot of it was due to that flight and all that, but I didn't tell them that, and just that happened pretty good. And just we responded, the next 2 days a lot better. So just proud of our team, man. That was a really, really good football team that we beat in San Diego State. They had won at least 8 games every year since 2012, except the 2020 season when they didn't play that many games. And they won 12 games last year and had just about everybody returning. So that was a heck of a win for our guys.
Rick Stockstill is with us, MTSU head football coach. I feel like I can ask you this because I know you think things out, and you've been around this game a long time. Bowl games and how you prep for bowl games have changed quite a bit because college football, college sports has changed quite a bit. There's a lot of different distractions that you have to deal with as a head coach day in and day out. And used to, I think, bowl games, no matter what the bowl game was, had more prestige. There was pride. Like, hey, let's end our season on a high note. But, there's a lot of other things out there. A player could opt out. A player could enter the portal, all those things. So how has your mindset as a head coach changed in getting your guys ready to close out so much hard work that has gone into a season with a bowl game?
Well, one, you can ask me anything you want. I'll tell you everything.
I know. You tell me straight up.
Yeah. So to me, it's two things. It's twofold. One, and that's how I approached it with our guys. I said, you owe it to each other. You owe it to everybody in this room to give your best effort to finish this year. And it's so you're closing one chapter, or you're closing one book, and then you're also using it to open up the next book. And, that's why I said this is a great opportunity. Springboard moving forward into next year, giving you confidence, and that little extra juice, coming back into, when we come back January 17th, 18th, whatever it is. So it's twofold. And for people out there who think that bowl games don't mean anything, you should have seen, tell them to come into our locker room. Tell them to come in on our field. Tell them to, you don't think those Oregon players were fired up last night when they beat North Carolina. Bowl games, there's only 10 teams that in the country that are going to be conference champions. There's only 4 teams that are going to make the playoffs. So there's a lot of work. These guys put in a lot of work, outside those 14 teams, that bowls mean something. That's the foundation of college football. That's what this, college football was built on. And to me, I'll fight anybody that says bowl games have lost their meaning. They only care about what's going to happen tomorrow or Saturday in those playoff games. Ask these players, that our players did just as much as what the Georgia players did. And so we were fired up. We're proud of going to the Hawaii Bowl, to all the bowl games that we've been to, and it means something to us. So I use it as to finish what you started, and then use it as a springboard going into this winter workouts and spring practice and summer when this whole grind starts all over again.
You're absolutely right, Coach. It may have changed for those that are watching it, but I think for the players and the coaches, it remains the same. You always want to go out on a winning note. Guys get excited about participating in a sport that they love and can potentially go out and win. So you're absolutely right about that. I think it's changed for a lot of other people outside of football. But when you're talking about the purists, those who coach football, those who play football, I think it still means the same. Now, Coach, your defense gave up 14 early points. But after that, they gave up only 9 points. What was done or said after San Diego State was able to get those quick 14 points and go up 14-0? Because pretty much your defense shut them down. They were not able to run the ball effectively. They threw the ball through the air, but still, to only come up with 9 points after scoring 14 points, that's big for your defense.
Yeah, I thought our defense was outstanding. I thought they were relentless. I thought they were swarming. They were attacking. You know, you look at their first drive, you know, we got them stopped there at midfield, whatever, and they fake a punt to get down there, you know, and scored on that possession. Then the next possession, you know, they hit a screen where we missed a tackle and the guy went 75 yards, 73 yards for a touchdown. So, you know, we gave up an explosive play. We gave up a big play on that. And then, you know, the fake punt put them down there. So I thought our defense was very consistent, you know, the whole game. You know, we got 3 interceptions, recovered 2 fumbles. The one fumble was the last play of the game. So, but I thought our defense was outstanding. They just, you know, they harassed the quarterback. They put pressure on him. We stopped the running game. You know, just, you know, and then other than that, that 73-yard play there on the screen, you know, we did a really, really good job of keeping the ball in front of us.
Coach Rick Stockstill is on the line with us. Middle Tennessee gets the big win in their bowl game against San Diego State. And, Coach, I want to ask you, you had a really interesting run there during the middle of the season. You had the huge win against Miami. Then you guys lose 4 out of 5. What was the key to maybe turning it back around to finish strong the way you guys did and win your last 4?
You know, like I said, you know, we came to work every day. And, you know, we had a stretch in there where we lost 3 games against 3 really good teams. And, you know, we didn't play probably as good as we would have liked in those games, but, you know, we got beat by 3 good teams. And then we went on the road and beat a really good UTEP team. And then we come back and we lost to La Tech when our quarterback, you know, was injured and didn't play very good. And, you know, so that's the one game you look at that, you know, coulda, shoulda, woulda, maybe, whatever. Had he not gotten hurt, I think, you know, I'm not saying we'd have won, but I think we'd have had a better opportunity to. But just the consistency, you know, and you guys know, heck, you've done her. You never get too high, you know, it will get too low. You know, you can't, you know, you're going to, I'm a positive guy, I'm a upbeat guy, and, you know, you lost a game, and, you know, you got to come back and go to work. You beat Miami, you got to come back and go to work. You know, everybody thought the sky was falling, you know, after we lost the first game, and, you know, we run off 3 straight, then we lose 3 straight. We win a game, we lose a game, we win 4 straight. So just, you know, a football season's a marathon. I've said it a million times that you just believe in our guys. I told them at halftime, you know, at halftime, you know, of the bowl game that I believed in them. I believe we're going to win. This is what we got to do and how we're going to do it. And, you know, you never lose that hope. You never, you said it earlier, you play the whole time, 60 minutes, or sometimes it takes more than that, but you play it till that final whistle goes off.
Coach, one last one for me. You have, of course, this evolution that's going through. The game's always evolving, but now you've got the NIL and the transfer portal. I'm curious, your view of your league in Conference USA, how it's holding up with how the game with this dynamic that's going on right now.
It's a pain in the butt. I guess I would. You know, it's so hard now to manage your roster because you never know. And just like last year, we lost 4 starting offensive linemen to the portal. You know, that we're coming back. You know, we lose 3 starting senior receivers. We lose, you know, a starting corner. We lose a starting safety to the portal. You know, we lose a starting linebacker to the portal. We lose like 11 starters on both sides of the ball that are supposed to come back that, you know, you spend time developing these guys, and when you got them going, you know, they go in the portal. So it's hard for everybody. I'm not, making excuses. Everybody's dealing with the same thing. The thing that's hard about Conference USA, I think, in the portal, is we're not signing ready-made guys. We're not signing the 6'5", 310-pound guy that's ready to step in. He's going to Alabama. He's going to Florida State. He's going to Tennessee, okay? We've got to sign that 6'3", 265, 70-pound guy and develop him. And then in a couple years, he's 300 pounds. And now he's ready, but, now he leaves. So I think that's what the group of 5 schools, are dealing with. The NIL, there's no way we're going to compete with the group of 5s. There's no way we're going to compete with, all these Texas A&Ms or whoever's, Alabama's, Power 5s, Miami's, that are, putting all this money out there. We'll never be able to compete with that. But if we can get to the point where we can get them a little bit of something, it would help. But no, I think you're going to see a bigger separation, between the haves and the have-nots, as this thing keeps going the next, handful of years.
Well, Coach, congrats again on the win in Hawaii. I know that made Christmas even better, and Happy New Year to you and the family. We'll talk again soon.
Sounds good. Happy New Year to you guys. Appreciate you.
That's Rick Stockstill, head coach at Middle Tennessee State University. It's funny. When we were there a week or so ago at the Murphy Center, I drove around campus afterwards. I got lost because I didn't know my way around anymore. But I realized it was 10 years to the day that I walked across that stage and graduated MTSU. Coach Stock and I came in at the same time.
Oh, wow.
So my freshman year was his first year at MTSU. So we go way back for sure. Coming up next, there are some rumblings of something that could happen tonight. I want to get your guys' take on it. We'll discuss that next. Chase Willie D. Mace, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
The college football season never stops. ESPN college football analyst Trevor Manich joins Stillman and Company every Tuesday at 4:30.
They've got to do what Nick Saban in Alabama has done so successfully over the last 10 years.
Presented by Houston Clinic Orthopedics on Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, it's Mike from Newton Chevrolet Buick GMC. I love this time of year. Christmas music, big meals, and maybe even a little snow. There's just something in the air. I don't know about you guys, but I have my leg lamp in the window and my moose glass for eggnog. I'm ready to kick off these holidays right. At Newton, we want to help you kick off the holidays right by helping spread the holiday spirit. And trust me, we have a lot of holiday spirit. We love helping customers find ways to surprise their loved ones with a new car. Can you imagine the look in their face Christmas morning? And if you aren't sure you're on the good list, we can put in a good word with a big guy. Don't be a Scrooge. Change your car buying experience in Newton and find out how we can help you start off the holidays with a new car. We have more new cars in stock right now than we've had any time in the past year. It's like a Christmas miracle. Kind of. Shop at NewtonChevroletBuickGMC.com to find your next car today.
Signs First, Nashville's foremost destination for event signage and physical media. Located just minutes from Broadway, our team of design, production, and installation professionals can help you create an unforgettable event. Stand out. Be different. Go to sfnash.com.
Hey, it's Hutton. Interest rates are rising, but not at Spring Hill Heating and Cooling. Replace your old unit fast before new regulations increase prices up to 20%. Get a new unit today at today's price and receive up to $1,500 off, or get 18 months of no payments, so the first payment is not until spring of 2024. At Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, all new systems come with a 10-year parts and labor warranty. Schedule your appointment now at springhillac.com. That's springhillac.com.
The Game text line is driven by Wilson County Hyundai. Online at wilsoncountyhyundai.com. Be a part of the conversation. Call or text the Game at 615-737-1025.
It's Family Leisure's half off after Christmas sale.
Up to half off on floor models, scratch and dent, and discontinued merchandise.
Theater seating with 2-piece sets starting at only $6.99. Massage chairs are only $9.99 as well.
Air hockey and foosball tables in stock and on sale starting at just $1.99.
Hundreds of full tables in stock for immediate delivery. Slate full tables starting at just $14.99 installed.
Above ground pools are all on sale with 24-foot starting at only $29.99 installed.
Family Leisure's up to half off after Christmas sale going on now.
Antioch and Franklin.
It's on. It's happening. Remember, you can watch us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter.
Get out of the way. I'm watching the game.
Presented by the law offices of Amanda Gentry. I'm ready to step this up a notch. You're listening to Chase, Willie, and D-Mace on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and on the Game Nashville app.
Chase, Willie, D-Mace, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Tune in for the NFL pregame tonight from Sonny's Patio Pub and Refuge, located at 1322 6th Avenue North in Germantown. Jared Stillman, Chris Sanders, and D-Mace will be there from 4:30 to 6:30, not 5 to 7, 4:30 to 6:30, prior to the Titans taking on the Dallas Cowboys. The NFL pregame is presented by TriStar Moving, Parman Tractor and Equipment, Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey, Superbook Sports, and Ounce of Hope Cannabis Company. So I don't know. I don't consider this reporting. I think there's just speculation, and got to be careful with speculation.
Exactly.
Especially on Twitter. But I've seen it a few different places of people throwing out that perhaps Josh Dobbs could start tonight over Malik Willis for the Titans. He's been with the team for less than 2 weeks. But it is a possibility. With them sitting just about everybody, you kind of have to figure that you're going to have Malik Willis if you make the playoffs. Would you agree with that move if that's the direction, Derek, that they decide to go?
Are you doing this for the team's sake, or are you doing this for the player's sake? The player. Are you doing this because you think with Joshua Dobbs this team has a better opportunity to win the football game? Well, if that's the case, then some of these players you possibly have sitting that are hurt and not injured, then they need to be playing. Or do you believe that, with this team, the way it's constructed, that putting Malik Willis in is going to do more harm to this young man than not?
Right.
And if Dobbs do start, I think it's the latter, what I said. Because, Willie, I said this yesterday. Yes, there hasn't been any progress in Malik Willis's. I think it's been stagnant with him getting better as a player. And I think that's twofold. I think it's on a player, and I think it's on the person that is coaching him, his quarterback's coach. What are you doing to make sure this young man gets better each and every day, each and every time he goes out there on a Sunday or a Thursday or a Saturday to play? Is he getting better? Do we see those things, those tangible things that in our mind believe he's getting better? Are we seeing that? I said no, we're not seeing it. So it falls on both the coach and the player. But even with that, I think if you put him in a situation where your offensive line is not good, you don't have many pass catchers, and then your running back potentially is not playing, I don't see under any scenario that is good for Malik Willis. He hasn't played well up until this point. What the hell makes you think he's going to play well if you throw him out there under that circumstances? I think it further crushes his confidence as he goes out there. So if he doesn't play, I hope it's because they don't want this to further damage the young man because he's not in an ideal situation.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let me give maybe a slightly different angle on that because D-Mace and I have been talking about Malik Willis a lot this week. And I think it is just painfully obvious, to me anyway, that he's just not ready to be able to move the needle. Right, about all he can do, best case scenario, is maybe have a couple of runs, try not to turn the ball over, and hope that you win with a special teams play and great defense. And that's just not going to be good enough right now. Maybe it was when they had everybody and they won in Houston. and it was about the most conservative game plan you could have. But the bottom line is, it's very evident that if it gets to 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, they can't even call a play that involves any intricate reading of the defense yet. He's just not ready to process it at this point. They're afraid to call it, it seems like. And he's thrown a couple of really bad picks. So my thought on the Dobbs, if they're speculating starting Dobbs, it would be because it's a tryout. You have to try to assess who gives you a better chance to win against Jacksonville. If you're trying to salvage a division title out of the rubble here, and Josh Dobbs gives you a better chance to beat Jacksonville, you got to see if he can do anything. Now, he's not in a great position tonight, but maybe he can at least show you that he's a little bit ahead of Malik Willis right now, and you just have to scrap the Malik Willis situation at least until next year, and then figure it out then. But like Derek was saying, I feel like they've put him in a position to fail Willis because he's just not ready at this point. Only the coaches can say internally, hey, look, he hasn't looked good so far, but he's on the verge of a breakthrough here. I'm not seeing it, but if they're not seeing it either, then why not just try Dobbs and see what he's looking for, see what he looks like?
Sure. I mean, that's kind of where I'm at. You know the roster you're putting out there tonight. You're not going to have Henry.
You literally have nothing to lose tonight. You have nothing to lose tonight.
No, this game means nothing. This is a preseason game. That's basically what this is for the Titans. It means something for Dallas, but it means nothing for the Titans because whether you win or lose tonight, Jacksonville is still winner take all for the division and a spot in the playoffs because mathematically they don't have a shot at the wild card. I mean, so it all hinges on next week. So I get sitting some of these guys that have been banged up. So that's why I look at it as you go to Malik and go, hey, if we need you, we'll put you in, but let's rest you up. Let's give you another week to kind of process things and go to Dobbs tonight and see what he's got. Because Dobbs is not the savior here. Okay, no. We know that. But he has more experience, sort of. I'd have to go look at all his meaningful snaps, but he has more experience, and, this is kind of where you're at with the roster.
This is where you're at with Willis. This is where you're at with Malik Willis. He's just not ready. He's below replacement level. And maybe if Dobbs is replacement level, maybe you can do some things with Burks. Let's just see if Burks can catch a couple balls on the field. I want to see if Hassan Haskins can take advantage of this opportunity tonight. Let's see if he can run the ball. They've got to make a decision next year on who's going to be alongside of Derrick Henry, and how do we get the most out of Derrick Henry next year if they're moving in that direction? They
got to make a decision if Derrick Henry's going to be Derrick Henry next year, if they're going to have Derrick Henry next year.
Totally, of course.
I mean, Ryan Porth was in town, and he says hello, by the way. And we were talking about this yesterday. He was buying his daughter a Derrick Henry jersey, and he goes, well, I can probably get a few more years out of this. And I was like, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. If they decide to blow it up, why would you hang on to him? Get what you can for him. I mean, that's what you said.
Yeah, so. I think the only person is safe in a sort of restructure of your roster is the quarterback. I think that's the only person safe.
We'll coming up next, we'll have more of your phone calls as we weigh in on should Josh Dobbs get the start tonight for the Tennessee Titans against the Dallas Cowboys. We will discuss that coming up next. But can you make your parlays pop this holiday season? You can win some money from Vegas with the weekly parlay bonus from my friends at Superbook Sports. If you place a 3-team football parlay, Superbook is going to give you a $10 bonus voucher. That's your holiday bonus, courtesy of my pals at Superbook Sports. Rack up the wins and earn some holiday cash by betting Superbook, and it's very simple. Download the Superbook Tennessee app and place your parlays today. The Cowboys are a whopping 13.5-point favorite tonight over the Tennessee Titans. But if you want to put a parlay together for this week, you got some options like Tampa Bay -3, Detroit -6 against Chicago, Cleveland +2 on the road at the Commanders. It doesn't matter. Parlay those whatever three you want together and get to winning. Visit Superbook.com for terms and conditions. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789.
Hey, I'm Matthias Ekholm, and this is Smashville.
Ekholm, his shot, he scores! Matthias Ekholm gets the Predators' third of the night.
You're listening to the flagship of the Nashville Predators radio network, ESPN 1025, The Game.
Give the gift of luxury this holiday season. Nothing is more elegant than a trip to the Omni Nashville Hotel. Gift cards from Bob's Steakhouse or Mocara Day Spa make wonderful gifts for any occasion, especially during the holidays. The foodie in your life will enjoy an evening of fine dining from the award-winning Bob's Steakhouse. Bob's Steakhouse specializes in serving big, flavorful steaks next to Texas-sized portions of delicious sides. The special person in your life will be comforted with the gift of relaxation and rejuvenation when they receive a gift card to Mocara Day Spa. Let the spoiling begin with a soothing facial, hot stone massage, body treatment, salon service, or mani-pedi. Bob's Steakhouse and Mocara Day Spa in the luxurious Omni Nashville Hotel. Purchase your gift cards today.
Want to kick off the new year without any credit card debt? If that sounds good to you, you can do it with Loan Pronto's Express Equity line of credit. Wipe out all those credit card bills right now. Hey, Willie Donick here. Rates are down, and it's a great move to get on more solid financial footing for the new year. You don't have to do a full home refi. You can tap a portion of the equity you have and enjoy a rate that's a whole lot less than what the banks charge on credit cards. With Loan Pronto's Express Equity credit line, you can close in 7 to 10 days. You can access up to 95% of your home's equity. Use that money to pay off those high-interest credit card loans of any type. Credit cards, personal loans, car loans, whatever. Consolidate everything into one easy payment. Even if you did a whole total refi last year, you can tap the equity with this fast, easy program and keep your main loan intact. Call Loan Pronto, 615-499-5780. That's 615-499-5780, or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
Hey, it's Jared from my official sportsbook app, the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Now is the perfect time to download FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because right now new customers get a no-sweat bet up to $1,000. That's free bets back if your first bet doesn't win. Just sign up with the promo code JGM. FanDuel has all your favorite bets, from the money line to point spreads to player props, and you can combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payout with a same-game parlay. Titans and Cowboys on Thursday night. Titans are injured. Malik Willis not that good. The Cowboys, not so sure, but I'd still bet on the Cowboys. All in an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. So sign up with the promo code JGM for your no-sweat bet. That's promo code JGM, and make every moment more with FanDuel this season, the official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 and older and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. Refund issues, non-withdrawable free bets that expire in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line, 1-800-889-9789.
Jonathan Hutton. You have to put the ball in his hands in that moment. And Chad Withrow.
My kicker's making no decisions on a football team.
Are in the game. Join them for NFL postgame after every Titans home game. Live from Landshark Bar and Grill in Margaritaville on Broadway. They'll break down that day's game and look ahead to the next one. NFL postgame is presented by Two Rivers Ford, Renter's Warehouse, and Superbook Sports on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, Nashville, this is Dan Lebitard. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Chase, Willie, D-Mace, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chase McCabe, Willie Donick, Derek Mason. Presented by Hair Club. Love your hair, live your life, creating custom hair loss solutions for men and women. Yes, technically I'm still on vacation, guys, but you know, I missed you.
Hey, well,
and we're at almost Friday.
Chase.
We're at almost Friday today.
It is almost Friday.
It is
Seriously.
almost Friday.
Yeah.
Today is Thursday, so it's almost Friday. Come by and see us. We're downtown Nashville. It's the Holiday Inn at 4th and Peabody. You can come in. You can see Matthew. You can see Lance. You can sign up to win their merch pack that they have. Also, it's a really cool place to hang out. They're going to have pregame happy hour from 3 to 6, and then they'll have a game day menu throughout the Titans and Cowboys game tonight. I've been in here several times. They got some games you can play. Pretty good at the flip cup, the beer pong. They got all that. So
there we go.
It's a very, very cool spot. But, you know, I missed you guys, so I wanted to come hang out a little bit. And maybe sing happy birthday later to Nick. Who knows? But taking your call, 615-737-1025, and text our phone line driven by WilsonCountyHonda.com. Should Josh Dobbs start for the Titans tonight? There's speculation that he could potentially start in place of Malik Willis tonight for the Tennessee Titans. Chris wants to weigh in. Chris, welcome in. What do you think about Josh Dobbs?
Hey, buddy, how are you guys doing?
We're good.
Doing good.
Well, first of all, before I even say anything else, I want to thank Derek Mason for all you did for us. I have your jerseys hanging in my room alongside my wife's shrine. She passed away a couple years ago. I'm a Raven hater, like most Titans fans, but I still have your Raven jersey hanging up in my room.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
I appreciate you, man. I think Dobbs should start tonight, and I think it's a great idea that he will start. I think Dobbs has got some weapons. I mean, he started under. I mean, well, not started, but he's played under Ben Roethlisberger and Baker Mayfield. I know you guys seen the run he had in the preseason where he went down the sideline, right?
I didn't see that.
Yeah, I think I remember that.
Yeah, it was I know it was a preseason run, but he had a long run down the sideline when he was playing with the Browns. But I think Dobbs should play ball tonight. I would really like to see him. I don't think Malik Willis is really going to be that great. I think he's got a lot of talent, but he's just not going to cut it in the NFL. I think Dobbs is probably the better answer for a backup quarterback. I'm going to hang up and let you guys speak about that.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate
Thanks
the
a lot,
call.
Chris. Appreciate it. You know, he might be right in the sense of at this particular time, Joshua Dobbs might be what's best for the team. The jury's still out on Malik Willis. You know, I think that, you know, an off season, if he doesn't come back and if he's not progressing during the off season into these camps, then I think the Titans really need to think about, is he going to be at best, is he going to be our, you know, backup quarterback? Can he be our backup quarterback at best? And if not, then, you know, you have to move on. I'm like, you know, I'm not giving up on the young man, because I think that he needs to be coached up and he needs to be put in a situation that's advantageous to him. Any rookie quarterback under these circumstances would not fare well. I'm not saying that they would look like Malik Willis, because Malik Willis has looked, you know, lost more times than not. But you put a quarterback, any good quarterback, as a rookie, name any one of them you want to name. You put them in this situation, how do they thrive? They don't.
It's going to be hard to thrive. They can't protect the quarterback.
Exactly.
That's whoever the quarterback is, you can't call slow developing plays, you know, 7-step drops. You don't have time. And you don't have that many weapons. It's a really tough. So I look at that. It's like, let's say I had, you know, a pitcher that was coming up from the minors, and it's a pennant race. It's a big game. You know, what's fair to really ask of that guy? If I know this pitcher's not ready, he's got tools, he may turn into a good pitcher someday. But look, I don't have anybody else. I got to throw him in there. So I throw him in there and he gets racked for a couple of starts. Should I keep putting him back out there? No, I got to send him back down. I got to go back to the drawing board. He's not ready. So let's take the offseason. Let's develop it, and let's take a veteran guy that he may not have a very high ceiling, but he might be the better answer right now.
The Titans aren't the only team that have been in this position before, but I am curious of something, of a rule that the league should look at, and that is the third quarterback rule. Because right now, if you keep three quarterbacks, an emergency quarterback, it counts against the roster. Now, I know you have practice squad game day call-ups that you can do, and you can circumvent it like that. But I think the Titans, if they had their druthers, Malik Willis would not have been the backup. The only reason he was the backup is because they didn't want to spend an extra roster spot on a third quarterback. And so they did what they did where they put Logan Woodside on the practice squad. He eventually got claimed and signed to an active roster by Atlanta. And they had hoped that because Tannehill had been healthy his entire tenure with the Titans, that they could squeak by and Malik Willis would never see the field. But if the rules were different where you could have that, that third quarterback, and I'm talking about game day actives too, you could have that third quarterback that doesn't count against your game day actives. Maybe they give you an extra roster spot for an emergency quarterback. Then that changes the whole landscape of things. Because I kind of felt like that they were forced into that position, even though, yes, they invested a third-round pick in him. They wanted to see what they had with him, but we all knew out of training camp the kid wasn't ready. The kid really wasn't ready to be a backup, but he was the backup based on the rules and the roster spots.
Well, again, I go back to you made why did you feel you needed to make the decision to make him your backup and not Woodside? To me, it looks as if you didn't think Woodside's development was on a pace that would make him a backup quarterback. You felt that Malik Willis, with his raw talent, would be your better option. If that is indeed the case, then I go back to who is coaching them, who is developing them. I understand the player they have their part in it, but you hire these coach and these sort of professionals to do their job. You bring them in as quarterbacks coach, as offensive coordinators. Why? Because you feel they are one of the 32 best in the National Football League. So what is O'Hara doing to develop these quarterbacks? That should be everybody's question. We're pointing at Malik Willis and saying it's all his fault. Well, what is being done to develop him? What was being done to develop Woodside?
Yeah, no, that's a fair question. That's an absolute fair question.
Because you basically released him when you put him on a practice squad. And what you said is he wasn't good enough.
615-737-1025. We'll continue to take your calls and your texts on Josh Dobbs. Should he start tonight? There's an interesting note from Pete Thamel out of college football, too. We'll share that coming up next here on Chase, Willie, and D-Mace. But I've been telling you about Hair Club for a while now. You've heard me talking about them. You can see me on the video stream. I got some power outages upstairs. I want to take care of that. I want to get thicker, fuller hair. And I love my hair. I love my look. So I wanted to do something about it. That's why I called Hair Club, as D-Mace laughs at me. Hair Club, no matter what it is, restoration, regrowth, small problems, big problems, they have the answers, and they have answers that are tailor-made just for you. All you need to do is go in for a free consultation, and they'll help you out with whatever your hair situation may be. Fill out the form at hairclub.com/chase. That's my name, C-H-A-S-E, to schedule your free consultation, and they'll give you 10% off anything that you happen to purchase just because I sent you. Or you can text Chase, that's me, C-H-A-S-E, to 694-247. That's 694-247, and get things going. Hair Club. Love your hair. Live your life.
At some point, it's a combination of who did you play and what does your skill set look like.
Get the best analysis of the big stories in the sports world with ESPN's Jason Fitz.
If you reach for a quarterback in the draft because you need one, you're going to set your franchise back 5 years.
Join Fitzy every Wednesday at 4:30. Presented by Blood Assurance. Jason Fitz.
I am 5'9.5"
on ESPN
102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
I'm Fox 17 Code Red meteorologist Greg Bobus. A very warm day ahead of us. High temperatures low 60s, fairly overcast, and the possibility of a few very light, isolated, short rain showers cannot be ruled out coming towards the afternoon.
Brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face truck today.
Hey, let's get brunch. How long is the wait?
Tired of the same old brunch spots? 2 words, Bottomless Brunch. That's right, Almost Friday is the newest sporting club in downtown Nashville, and they're ready to help you elevate your weekend. All you can eat and drink while you watch the game, play flip cup, pong, or other games, and turn it up with their DJs. There's no other place in Nashville like it. If it's not Friday, it's Almost Friday. Reserve your table now at almostfridaynash.com. It's always Almost Friday at Almost Friday Sporting Club.
Hey, it's Mike from Newton Ford South. I love this time of year. Christmas music, big meals, and maybe even a little snow. There's just something in the air. I don't know about you guys, but I have my leg lamp in the window and my moose glass for eggnog. I'm ready to kick off these holidays right. At Newton, we want to help you kick off the holidays right by helping spread the holiday spirit. And trust me, we have a lot of holiday spirit. We love helping customers find ways to surprise their loved ones with a new car. Can you imagine the look in their face Christmas morning? And if you aren't sure you're on the good list, we can put in a good word with the big guy. Don't be a Scrooge. Change your car buying experience in Newton and find out how we can help you start off the holidays with a new car. We have more new cars in stock right now than we've had any time in the past year. It's like a Christmas miracle. Kind of. Shop now at newtonford.com to find your next car today.
Robbie Stanley.
They get a lead in that game and just totally close the door.
Joe Rexrode.
If he plays next year, it's disastrous.
Robbie and Rexrode. Mornings from 6 to 10 on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And on the Game Nashville app. This is Chase, Willie, and D-Mace on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And on the Game Nashville app.
What is Josh and his progress to this point?
I think it's really good. I think he's put a lot of time in. I think he's been in a lot of different offenses. I think he's working hard, to learn what we're doing and, being able to manage the game and understand the operation and all those different things.
Mike Vrabel from Tuesday talking about Joshua Dobbs, as there is speculation afoot that he could start tonight against the Dallas Cowboys. Back here, Chase, Willie, and D-Mace, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chase McCabe, Derek Mason, at Almost Friday, downtown Nashville, 4th Avenue and Peabody Street here in the Holiday Inn. And also Willie Donick in Anaheim, California. You can call or text 615-737-1025. Several want to weigh in on this. Gary in Hollow Rock says absolutely he should start. That guy's a rocket scientist, which is true. He is a rocket scientist. An unnamed texter says Malik is not a 7-drop QB. Moves and gun. If the coaches can't let him do that, then he doesn't fit the system. He's a bad pick. He also says if Dobbs starts over Willis, then I don't want to hear the J-Rob firing had an impact on the team. I guess because J-Rob didn't make this move, but okay. I still think it could have to this point. Let's go.
I mean, they are where they are. They are where they are.
Mm-hmm.
I keep thinking. I heard a little optimism in the voice. Again, maybe I wasn't looking for it when that aired live, and I was listening at the time. But I seem to hear some optimism in Mike Vrabel's voice there, kind of hinting that, we're thinking about this. And I can't help but thinking so many times over the last couple of weeks, last week in particular, the look on Vrabel's face at the end of some poor plays by the offense, where he's just thinking, we're paralyzed, right? We just don't have a lot in our portfolio right now to make it happen offensively. If we can't run it right at him, it's not happening. Now, so it had to be talked about over the course of the weekend. Should we try this, especially given the circumstances where you have nothing to lose? This is kind of a tryout. Who gives you a better chance to beat Jacksonville?
Yeah. John on our text line says Trevor Lawrence is a perfect example. He had an injury-riddled team last year, a bad coaching situation, nothing going his way. No QB would have done much better. Now, a year later, he looks like he did at Clemson with a better situation. Willis isn't Lawrence, but he needs time. I know where he's going with that, but he needs a lot of time.
Yeah, he's going to need some time. I understand what the texter is saying. One, under this circumstance, who thrives? Under the circumstance that Trevor Lawrence was in, who thrives in that situation? We saw with Trevor Lawrence, and we're seeing with Trevor Lawrence, with the new coaching staff, a better team, he's being coached the right way. He looks like the number one pick in the draft now. Now, he still has some way to go, but they see it in him now. Last year, they didn't see it in him. Why? Because the coaching was horrible. Malik Willis falls sort of in that same category. Does he have the talent that Trevor Lawrence has? No. But you can't tell me he's what we're seeing.
Yeah.
I think he can get better, but it all depends on coaching. How do you coach him to be a better player? Part of it is on him, and I'm sure he's going to do his job, do what he needs to do to get better. But what are you doing? And nobody's bringing this up. It goes back to Woodside and now Malik Willis. These quarterbacks are not being developed, but it's being overshadowed by other things that are going on with this team. Again, these guys are not being developed. You show me where Woodside was developed.
Right.
You show me where Malik Willis has been developed up to this far. We're sitting here saying he has not gotten better.
Right. And how often do we say in the summer, philosophically, would it not be better for quarterbacks like Malik Willis and several other around the league to play in something like the USFL, to play some games? I think they need to reconsider how they develop quarterbacks in the league. But nobody ever wants to go down that road. Oh, they might get hurt. Hey, blah, 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 blah. Well, nobody's developing quarterbacks very well that I can think of. It's rare, right? There's a lot of quarterbacks that just never get there. And I think there would be more. You would be in a better position if, what you said, Chase, if they designated the third quarterback and say everybody's going to have three quarterbacks.
Yep.
Keep them around. Don't worry about if you're going to lose. Don't do that already.
I agree.
They used to do that. They need to do that again. Designate the spot. It's only for quarterbacks. It's nobody else.
For quarterbacks.
There's no way you can't manipulate the roster and sneak another tight end in there on game day. No. This is for a third quarterback like Malik Willis that we would like to develop. Then you could have, as you said, Chase, Logan Woodside or some other veteran that's there to be an option for you so you don't get into this position. But on top of that, have a developmental league that you actually have a farm team. I think that would really help, especially young quarterbacks.
Yeah, because to your point, if I'm a college coach, let's say I'm a college coach and I'm in a pretty good program. I'm not going to say an elite program, but I'm pretty good. It's not my job to develop a quarterback for the NFL. It happens. It's a part of the process. It's you get that experience, but it's not my job to develop that kid for later on. It's my job to develop him to help us win as a team now. That's the bottom line, and I think people don't always see that. Now, it's a natural part of the process that you're going to get you're going to develop and you're going to play more. But I mean, Derek, like you've seen it, you were a part of it. Like you develop more once you get to the league because the systems are different. The talent level is obviously different. It's completely different from what you're used to in college. And I think to Willie's point, if you had another step that was in the middle of going college to the NFL, it would help some of these, players that, aren't your top picks.
Yeah, I mean, players,
not just quarterbacks.
Players are – it's stages for an individual player. Like you said, you are developing guys to make your system better. Everybody's not meant to go to the NFL. Everybody doesn't have the talent to go to the NFL. But you're developing that particular player, whether it be a quarterback, anybody else, for the betterment of your team. Now, if he's that good, then he will make the NFL. If he's that lucky, he will, get a chance to play in the NFL. But that's not my goal as a head coach of a college team. My goal is to prepare these men, to prepare these young men to potentially, to be men as they segue out of college and to, make our team the best team we can possibly make them. Not try to get him ready and develop him for the NFL. If that happens, great. But if it doesn't, it wasn't my job, Right. So when you get in the NFL, if you were lucky enough to have had NFL coaches that coached you in college, which I did, that curve is not such a long curve that you have to maneuver. You come in.
You know who's to blame here, Derek?
Who is that?
The owners, to me. I think the owners cannot think outside the box. What you hear the owners say is, hey, let's play the 18th game. Hey, we added the 17th game. Let's get more money. Let's play the 18th game. Instead of saying, let's develop players, we can make that money. You don't think you could take over one of these developmental leagues and set up a farm system and get a good TV deal and take that money? You could build the revenue that way, and the league would be way, way better off, in my opinion. It would take more work, right? It would take a good strategy, a good business plan, but they don't want to work. They just want to sit back and, let's play 18 games. Let's ask the players to play another game, and let's just do it that way and grab the money there. Well, that's what really disappoints me about this whole thing, because there are a ton of teams. There's always a team or two that end up in this situation. I think the quarterback situation.
I think the guys that would benefit most from a farm league or minor league, let's say a professional minor league, because they consider college is like a minor league. The guys that would benefit most, you're right, because now they're paying, they can get paid. The guys that benefit most from that are offensive linemen and quarterbacks. Guys that can learn in systems and it not be that pressure on them to perform, because they were a first rounder or a second rounder or a third rounder. They can make that progression to developing, and then once they, either they develop after 2 or 3 years or they don't.
Sure.
I know now, not having them on my roster and trying to figure out how do I develop this player, or even if I can, again, what are you doing to develop these players, Tennessee Titans? What are you doing to develop your quarterback? Because it seems like the last 2 quarterbacks they're not being developed the way that they need to have the ability to come in and win you football games.
Real quick, Doug, let's squeeze Doug in real fast, talking about Josh Dobbs. Doug, welcome in.
Hey, Happy New Year, guys, to you coming up. Thank you for the time to be on the air, but I'll go about Dobbs. And then before the breaking news came, I said, win, lose, or draw, he's one of the 2 quarterbacks on this squad, and you need to see what he's going to be able to do under live bullets. Then the breaking news came. Refer back to statement number 1. You still need to see what he can do under live bullets. But I also think about what D-Mace said as far as development. I never thought about it that way. If you're not developing players in whatever position, Woodside never got better. That tells you something right there. Malik Willis is not getting better. That tells you something. So, guys, again, under live bullets, you got 2 games. You got to see what you got. I agree with the call. And catching Dallas by surprise by not knowing who you're going to get. So that was a good coaching call.
Thanks, Doug. Appreciate it. Yeah, Paul Kaharski, paulkaharski.com, is reporting Titans plan to play Josh Dobbs at quarterback. He's also reporting Derrick Henry and Danico Autry definitely will not play for the Titans tonight against the Cowboys. That is from Paul Kaharski. Coming up next, we'll get to silly underdog picks here on 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
You love the game.
Tennessee touchdown! Middle Tennessee gets the score.
We live the game.
Just work on the little things every day.
They think the coaches are just coaches.
We are.
Ranks and he scores!
On both sides of the ball.
One big possession.
Touchdown, Middle Tennessee.
The Game. Nashville's best sports talk. 102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And the Game Nashville app.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen. Coration CBD products. Coration began as our family's mission to provide the Nashville community with locally and organically sourced CBD products. We are passionate about providing high-quality CBD products for everyday use. Tinctures, topicals, and pet products too. We are a Pick 10 company. Our hemp is organically grown and produced in Nashville, Tennessee from sustainably sourced non-GMO genetics. All of our products are lab tested. Find all of our products at CorationCompany.com.
It's Family Leisure's half off after Christmas sale.
Up to half off on floor models, scratch and dent, and discontinued merchandise.
Theater seating with 2-piece sets starting at only $6.99. Massage chairs are only $9.99 as well.
Air hockey and foosball tables in stock and on sale starting at just $1.99.
Hundreds of full tables in stock for immediate delivery. Slate full tables starting at just $14.99 installed.
Above ground pools are all on sale with 24-foot starting at only $29.99 installed.
Family Leisure's up to half off after Christmas sale going on now.
Antioch and Franklin.
All of us who work for Cromwell Media, the owner of this radio station, take a great deal of pride in our work. We honor each other for making a difference on our team and in our community. This month, we're congratulating Austin Fullwider, who handles our commercial logs for 6 years of service, and Sean Fort, our Director of Sales, along with David Janes, one of our part-time producers on 102.5, 106.3 The Game, are each celebrating 2-year anniversaries. Want to be part of what we do? Contact us at together@cromwellmedia.com and let's have a conversation.
Live from the Game Nashville studios. WPRT-FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne. Broadcasting on Alexa.
I appreciate that.
And other smart speakers. 102.5 and 106.3. 1, 2, 3.
I think it was a good game. You had a couple of big plays.
The Game.
A Cromwell Media Station.
Now let's see if we can bring them to life, all right?
Bringing you entertainment and informative sports talk during your workday.
Smart, funny, classy, and I like him a lot.
This is Chase, Willie, and D-Mace with Chase McCabe, Willie Donick,
Mason, touchdown, Tennessee.
and former NFL wide receiver Derek Mason. Presented by Hair Club. Hair Club. Love your hair. Live your life. On Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And on the Game Nashville app.
There's no need to fear. Underdog is here.
Chase, Willie, D-Mace, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chase McCabe, Derek Mason, and Almost Friday in downtown Nashville, 4th Avenue and Peabody in the Holiday Inn Hotel. And Willie Donick is in Anaheim, California. Silly Underdog Picks presented by Volunteer Hose and Gasket and Superbook Sports, voted #1 sportsbook in Vegas. Download their app today. I see 2 guys on hold. Chris Sanders, Kelly Holcomb here with us. But I don't see one George Plaster yet. What's up with that?
Hey, Kelly talks a lot of trash about Willie and everything, but he comes on every day and he talks to Willie every Thursday. I think he secretly appreciates Willie as being the commissioner. I think you do, Kelly.
Wow, now that's an interesting theory. I
think he just has respect for the. I think he has respect for the contest.
No, I mean I like Willie as a dude, man. He's a great guy, man. But like as a commissioner, he's not very good.
Hey, Willie, I think he secretly wishes you can hold on to the commissioner job.
You want me on that wall.
Exactly.
You need me on that wall.
I just
you can't handle the truth, Hoss.
I just think at this point we don't have a choice anymore.
Oh,
absolutely.
Man. That's just kind of where we're at. By the way, I just had a moment of deja vu. I feel like we've had this conversation before. I don't know. It's kind of interesting. We're efforting George, so who knows? He might be at getting a quesadilla or something at lunch, but we'll try and chase him down. But without further ado, I turn things over to the commissioner, William Donick.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. This is the commissioner speaking. Silly Underdog Picks 2022. Brought to you by Volunteer Hose and Gasket and, of course, Superbook Sports. This will be the final week of competition for our panel. Let's take a look first.
Amen.
Let's take a look at the online competition. It was a light scoring week, not a ton of games and not a ton of upsets last week. So David Murphy won the online competition. He hails from Goodlettsville. It was a tie, and he won the tiebreaker. So congratulations to David. The most popular pick by far was Middle Tennessee.
Oh, yeah.
Over San Diego State. 60% of our audience took Middle Tennessee as one of their picks. The next most popular was the Eagles against the Cowboys. They fell a little bit short. And then the third most popular was the Packers. And they did pull the upset against the Dolphins. So congrats to our winner. And we'll have one more shot this week. Now, let's get to a review of what happened last week. Chase McCade. Now, first we need to tidy up a little business from the week before. Remember, Derek Mason had Middle Tennessee. It was eligible to be picked the week before, but the game had not been played yet. And, of course, Middle's win gives him 7 more points. So he creeps up a little closer. Derek right now is behind Chris Sanders. He's still got an outside shot, even though Chris has had a commanding lead for most of the season here. So we'll get. Let's now.
Don't think we can get. Like, how do we give that to Derek? I mean, he messed up. Like, we can't let him.
I didn't mess up, Kelly. I only went by the rules that were set by the commissioner. The commissioner set the rules.
I mean, make a judgment committee. Let's go. That should not be allowed.
Yeah, look, Willie is like NASCAR. He makes the rules up as he goes. That's just kind of where we're at.
Hey, Commish, I'm with you on that one, okay? I'm with you.
I feel good about the integrity of the competition. I feel good about the integrity. That game was on the slate in Week 16. Derek took it. It just hadn't been played by the time we gathered last week. So it was eligible. Derek gets the 7 points from the Blue Raiders. Now, Week 17, here's what happened. Chase took North Carolina, the first pick, 14.5-point dogs against Oregon. Man, they played well last night. Man, they played well. They had the lead until the final 4th and 2, and Oregon scored. And then this was the thing. If you missed this game last night, I happened to be watching. Oregon scores to tie the game at 27. They need an extra point to win it with 19 seconds to go. And the guy hits the upright, and it bounces in. So some of the looks on the sideline were just priceless. So Oregon did pull it out 28-27, but North Carolina played very, very well. You should have won that one, Chase.
I'll tell you this. Drake May, that kid is legit. I mean, they had the ball past the 50, and I thought he was going to overthrow the end zone.
Yeah, they decided to throw the Hail Mary instead of like a 58 or 59-yard field goal to win it. They got down there. It was pretty crazy, but he is a player, no question about it. So UNC falls just short. So Chase, unfortunately, no points for the cover. That's how this contest works.
Nope, no points.
Kelly had UCF, a 3-point dog against Duke. That game played yesterday.
Wow.
Duke won easily, 30-13. Duke 9-4. How many people listening could name off the top of your head the head coach for Duke? Kind of a no name, like, hey, who's Duke got? What's Duke got? They won 9 games. They had a really, really good year. They whipped UCF 30-13. So unfortunately, no points for Kelly there.
Yeah, thanks, Willie. That game sucked.
Plaz had Texas Tech, a 3.5-point dog against Ole Miss. Really touching moment last night. They had the intentional delay of game in honor of the late Mike Leach, who once upon a time coached Texas Tech, of course, as you remember. And, of course, Ole Miss declined the penalty. And then Texas Tech went on and rolled against Ole Miss. 42-25 was the final, so Plaz picks up 3.5. D-Mace had Coastal Carolina taking on East Carolina. That seemed like a good pick, but, man, the Pirates rolled it. 53-29. 53-29. Yikes.
Well,
Chris
didn't get
the
the point.
leader. Yeah, he needed. So D-Mace needed points. He didn't get them there. Chris was looking to put it away with Utah State. 7-point dogs against Memphis.
That was terrible.
That was also a blowout. The Memphis Tigers ended up closing out their season on a high note. 38-10 was the final there. Chris then came back with the Colts, a 4.5-point dog against the Chargers on Monday night. Oh, what a snoozer that was. So Chris comes up empty on his 2 games. You could have sealed it, Chris.
That's all.
Then D-Mace needing points. He went with 7 to try to creep closer to Chris. He went with the Washington Commanders. 7-point dogs against the 49ers. No, sir. 49ers right now too tough, especially on defense, and the Niners get the W. So D-Mace still is now 14.5 points back.
Okay.
I should say, yeah. Yep. So you got to do the math here of your next two picks, D-Mace. He's got 111. You got 96.5.
Oh, I'm gonna get it.
Nah, sir.
Let me get it.
Plaz had the Eagles 5.5-point dogs against the Cowboys. Gardner Minshew played well. They were right in position. A Miles Sanders fumble late hurt the Eagles, and the Cowboys pulled it out. Then Kelly had the Giants, a 4-point dog against the Vikings up in Minnesota. Giants were right in there. Tie game. The Vikings hit a long field goal, 61 yards to win it on the last play of the game. So Kelly comes up empty there. And then Chase on Christmas Day had the Packers against the Dolphins, 4-point dogs. Packers were behind in that game 20-10, came back and won it. Of course, Tua had the issues with the concussion. He's in the protocol now. He finished the game with 3 consecutive interceptions, and the Packers get the comeback win. And somehow the Packers are still alive in the playoff chase because of that, lo and behold.
And the Dolphins have just completely collapsed.
Yeah.
And I understand, I hope Tua's okay. I'm really worried about his future. I mean, if that's 3 concussions this year for him, that's not good.
So here are the standings after 17 weeks. So the final week coming up, Chris has a 111, D-Mace with 96.5. Kelly holding in third at 69. Plaz at 54, and Chase at 51.5. So Chase, one more week to get out of the cellar.
Hey, you gotta fight for something. Hey man, you gotta play for something.
I need it. We'll see.
All right. So when we come back, the final picks. So you have the rest of the bowl slate, and then this week's NFL football game. So you got one of each, and then that will be it for the Silly Underdog competition. Stay tuned. The picks are coming up next.
The sports talk doesn't end on Friday. Join Michelle Knezovic and Junie Riddle for Michelle and Junie.
Have they truly been tested yet?
I really want this to be a good game.
Michelle and Junie, every Saturday morning at 9. Presented by Superbook Sports and the Nashville Jam Company.
I think Junie and I are going to go hit breakfast/brunch there after the show.
On 102.5 and 106.3, The Game and the Game Nashville app.
I can go from 0 to 60 way too fast.
Who knew electric vehicle owners were having so much fun?
20 or 30 years ago, I owned a gas sports car, and this car is much quicker.
It's a great, fun car to drive. When you put your foot on the accelerator, it just goes.
They're fun, they're fast, they're efficient. Visit driveelectrictn.org to learn how you can start having fun driving an electric vehicle.
Sponsored by the East Tennessee Clean Fuels Coalition, the Tennessee Association of Broadcasters, and this station.
The choice is yours, Wednesdays at 8:45. Brought to you by Jarrett Companies. Now hiring experienced sprinkler experts. Go to jarrettfire.com. JARRETT fire.com. Jarrett Companies, a company above and beyond industry standards.
Hal Gill here for my friends at Dunkin'. Everyone celebrates the holidays in their own special way, but you go twice as hard as everyone else. So does Dunkin', which is why they've created 2 espresso-rich holiday signature lattes. The minty, cocoa-dusted peppermint mocha and creamy cinnamon sugary toasted white chocolate lattes are handcrafted with bold espresso and topped with whipped cream to help you do the most this year. So swing by the newly remodeled Dunkin' on Bradley Parkway in Nashville or the new Dunkin' in Mount Juliet and grab one today on the double.
The Nashville Sheriff is hiring correctional officers. Earn $52,500 after paid training and probation. Positions are available immediately. You must be 21 and over with a high school diploma or GED. Come, join our family. That's $52,500 with great benefits. Apply now at sheriff.nashville.gov/apply or call 615-862-8170. Earn $52,500. Stop searching. Apply now. The Nashville Sheriff.
We want to hear from you.
Thanks for taking the call.
Join the conversation. Call or text at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
I'm ready to step this up a notch.
You're listening to Chase, Willie, and D-Mace on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and on the Game Nashville app.
Silly Underdog Picks, presented by Volunteer Hose and Gasket, the final week of competition. Also brought to you by Superbook Sports. So Chase McCabe will be cross-checking the official lines on these picks. So Going into the final week, Chris with 111. D-Mace with 96.5. So he is in striking range, but he needs a big week, and he does not need Chris to win another game here. Let's see how Chris plays this, because he likes to go for the big ones. Let's see if he goes short at all to try to just inch ahead to make sure he gets enough points to hold on to the title, which would be his second in the last 3 years. Kelly Holcomb, also a champion at 69 points. Plaz with 54. Chase McCabe with 51.5. All right, let's begin the competition. Kelly Holcomb has the first pick.
We can skin a buck and run a trot line, and a country boy can survive. Country folks can survive. Country boy can survive. Country folks can survive.
I'm ready for some football.
Well, D-Mace, I'm for you, man.
Okay.
I hope you. I'd give you my pick if I could, man. If we could change the rules, which we're always changing the rules. You know, we talk about changing the rules. It sounds like when I was in Indianapolis, every Friday, me and Peyton would go out and play a goalpost game, and he couldn't beat me, so he used to change the rules. He was masterful at that. So, you know what? I'm going to take the Buckeyes. Give me the Buckeyes over Georgia. What?
Wow.
Okay, Kelly. I see
and a
you.
miss.
I see you. Come on, you going to say swing and a miss.
I mean, look.
It's your Buckeyes, man.
6.5.
Oh, that is right.
Oh, my goodness.
That is right. I forgot I went to New University. I forgot. He has no idea what I'm talking about.
Oh, my goodness.
Is a 6.5 dog. That's what I have, Chase.
I forgot, man. I forgot. My bad.
Oh, man.
Do you know who you played professionally for?
Hey, Cleveland. I mean, come on. It's one of those teams. No, I'm just kidding. I just forgot I went to Ohio State, man.
There's something I want. There's a joke I want to make, but
Eddie would be ashamed of you, man. Coach Eddie would be ashamed of you, man.
My bad. Over and over again. That's what makes it so frustrating. We're losing to a guy who doesn't understand. Oh my goodness.
This is a recurring theme. Ohio State is a 6.5-point dog against Georgia in the national semifinal, which will be in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl coming up Saturday at 5. All right, let's move on to Plaz, who is absent. And it will be young Nick Keiser to make the pick.
Hey, Willie.
Yes, Nick.
Do we have a Vol State at all in a bowl game?
Vol State? No.
I'm not seeing it on the slate.
Okay. Well, I did my best George impression, guys, but I'm just going to go ahead and make my pick. All right. Well,
not bad.
Since I'm picking for Plaz, I don't know. I'm seeing this South Carolina over Notre Dame as a good pick. What do you guys think? They have him +3 over
It's not a bad pick.
Notre Dame.
I like it.
Pretty solid.
Yeah, I like that pick. It's a good pick.
I have 3.5. What do you have, Chase? Officially,
3.
Superbook
3
score.
is the official.
3. All right. So the
No hook.
Gamecocks at 8-4, a pair of ranked teams. That's the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl down in Jacksonville. So he will go with South Carolina 3 against the Fighting Irish. All right, we move on to D-Mace. This is the key part of the competition. D-Mace having to do the math. He's got 96.5. He's got to get a minimum of 111.5 to have any shot.
Grease lightning, go, grease lightning, go, grease lightning, it's still up there, he laughed, try, grease lightning, go, grease lightning.
Willie's just like covering his head.
Oh, man, that's the best part of the show right there. I need the points. Gosh, I'm trying to debate on which one should I take because they both are 10.5 points dog, 10.5 point dogs. I am going with the Syracuse Orangemen. In the Yankee Stadium Bronx Pinstripe Bowl. I'm going for a Pinstripe Bowl.
Same, gummit.
You won't have to wait long. The Pinstripe Bowl will be kicking off here in less than an hour.
So I made it. Yes.
Syracuse at 7-5. Yes, it is. It is eligible to be picked. It is not a Kelly Holmes violation, a controversy from a few years ago where he picked the ball and his team was up 14-0. So Minnesota is the 10.5-point favorite. So Syracuse, is it officially 10.5, Chase, on the Superbook Sports?
No, it's 11.
I'll take the 11. Yes,
it's 11.
Come on, give me those 11 points.
The official.
That is crazy.
We got to go official with Superbook, the sponsor. All right. So, Yankee Stadium it is. Get your Yankee hat on. Get your Syracuse action going here, and let's see what happens in that one. All right. Now, Chris Sanders has a chance to react. He's in the lead. He's in the driver's. Let's see what he picks.
There we go. Yes, sir. May took my pick, but I think I'm still going to be all right. I'm going to go with Oklahoma over Florida State.
That was my other pick. God, I knew he was going to take that one. I knew he was going to take that one.
Oklahoma is a 10-point dog.
Let's go.
Oklahoma. So, Chris Sanders not playing for the sticks. He's going for
no.
And maybe he's just trying to prevent Derek from. Well, yeah, I guess Derek has to pick a pro one anyway. So I this is interesting strategy here, Chris. But
yes.
You stick to your guns. You're not changing your game.
Absolutely not.
Oklahoma, 10-point dog against Florida State in the Cheez-It Bowl, which is going on later today.
It don't sound tough, Cheez-It Bowl.
No, it really doesn't.
It's being played in Orlando. Tough. All right, so the Seminoles might have a few extra fans down there. All right, so Chase McCabe now has 2 picks.
All right.
As he tries for the cellar.
Behold the king, the king of kings.
All right, let's do this. Let's start with college. 1 semifinals off the board. Let's take the other one. Give me the Horned Frogs at TCU plus 7.5.
TCU against the Wolverines. 7.5-point dogs. That game will be played in the Fiesta Bowl out in Arizona. That's a 1 o'clock start. That's the early game. The first of the 2 semifinals. Undefeated Michigan. All right. And now on to the NFL. Chase, you have the first pick.
Don't pick it, Chase.
In the NFL, I'm going to go to the Battle for Los Angeles, which I think is an album, actually. Give me the Rams. Baker We Trust, plus 6.5 against the Chargers.
Baker Mayfield and the Rams trying to salvage some respectability here. They don't have a first pick anyway, so why not just try to win a couple games? Let's see if Baker Mayfield can stick as their quarterback. Chargers, of course, have a lot to play for. They've eked out a couple of wins here the last couple of games. All right, we move on to Chris Sanders now and his all-important pro pick.
This one's going to hurt because I know somebody wanted it. Steelers over the Ravens.
Didn't nobody want that game.
Didn't
nobody want that game.
Come on, man. Hey, Steelers are hot, baby. You didn't want that game?
No, I ain't want that game, man. Ain't enough points for me. It ain't
plus
7.
Steelers. I have 2.5. Chase, what do you have?
No, it's 4. It's 4.
2.5.
2.5.
2.5.
What are you looking at, Chris?
But see, Chris, if you get this, we'll have to see what D-Mace picks. That could put you over the top. But D-Mace now has the chance to react. He can look at what you picked and see what he wants to do.
There's not any big ones, and I'm not going out on a limb with, like the Raiders.
Well, what about the boys playing tonight over at Nissan Stadium?
Yeah, heck
that
no,
would get
man.
you the
Come
points,
on.
teammates. That could be the lowest.
No, I'm not doing that. I know.
And getting
go
higher by the second.
Go for it, D.
Nope, not doing it. Not doing it. Give me the. You know what? I'm going with this pick. It might not. I'm going with the Raiders. Las Vegas Raiders.
Jarrett Stidham, huh?
Jarrett Stidham. I'm going with the Raiders. Give me them.
Okay, well, that does give you points. Now, the Raiders, of course, if you didn't hear it yesterday.
Are they 10-point dogs, Chase, on yours? 9.5? Okay.
9.5.
The Raiders are, and I don't know the whole story. What? But Derek Carr stepping away. He will not. Was he benched and
They
then
benched
stepping
him.
away, or is there something going on? They just flat out benched him. That's what I thought.
Yeah, he was benched.
But he's stepping away from the team. Why?
He
Because he's
according to ESPN, Raiders bench Derek Carr, QB to step away from team, avoid distraction. Sources say.
What is that? I don't understand that at all. Like, I've got to step away. I don't want to be a distraction because
It's
I'm going
like
to throw
Mariota.
my helmet. What?
Yeah, it's like Mariota in Atlanta. He's pissed off. He got benched, and now, I mean, if he's using the premise of he's avoiding distraction, okay, whatever. But that's what it is. He's mad. He got benched.
Real classy.
The way of
All right.
the world.
So you got 9.5 for the Raiders. So D-Mace has a maximum. He could get, if he gets Syracuse and the Raiders, he would get 20.5 points. That would put him ahead of Chris. Chris could get 2.5 from the Steelers, and he could also get 10 from Oklahoma. So we'll wait and see on how that plays out. We'll get the first part of the equation later today. Now on to Plaz and Kelly for the final picks. Plaz, what do you got?
Well,
Nick.
Yes.
Willie?
Yes. Well, I'm going to go with someone that George has taken a few times this year. I'm going to take the Chicago Bears +6 over the Detroit Lions.
Bears trying to play the spoiler. Josh Fields had a big offensive game against the Lions the first time, but as has been the case with a number of his games, good numbers and then just a couple of mistakes late. And Detroit eked that one out. The Lions at 7-8, still mathematically alive. So the Bears, is it officially 6, Chase?
It is.
All right. And finally, Kelly Holcomb with the final pick of 2022.
I won with this team a couple of weeks ago, and I'm going to do it again. I'm going to say the Panthers beat the Bucks.
The Panthers at 6-9, still mathematically alive, down in Tampa. And what is the line, Chase, officially? Is it 3?
3.
Panthers 3 at the Bucks. The Bucks, man, you talk about tough sledding. It is hard to watch them right now, but they still finding ways to win just enough. So will the NFC South have a team with a winning record? Same kind of question as the AFC South these days. All right, let's quickly review. Week 18, Kelly Holcomb selects Ohio State, a 6.5-point dog against Georgia in the semifinal. Plaz takes South Carolina, a 3-point dog against Notre Dame. D-Mace takes Syracuse, an 11-point dog against Minnesota. That game is about to start here in less than an hour. A huge game for D-Mace. He needs it to stay alive in the competition. Chris Sanders can put it away if Oklahoma is able to pull the upset against Florida State down in Orlando. Oklahoma, a 10-point dog. Chase has TCU, a 7.5-point dog against Michigan. Chase trying to move out of the cellar and finish out of last place. He'll need the Horned Frogs or the Rams, who are 6.5-point dogs against the Chargers in the Battle of L.A. Chris Sanders has the Steelers, a 2.5-point dog against the Ravens. That's got to be the lowest point total he's ever tried to pick. But he's just trying to move forward to stay ahead of D-Mace and seal the title. D-Mace takes the Raiders, 9.5-point dogs against the 49ers. They're flipping quarterbacks. Plaz takes the Bears, a 6-point dog up in Detroit against the Lions. And Kelly Holcomb has the Panthers, 3-point dogs against the Buccaneers in an important game in the NFC South. You can play online one more time with us on theGameNashville.com. Pick your 3 games before kickoff on Saturday. Those are our picks for Week 18. Gentlemen, it's been a pleasure all year. We'll wrap it up after it's all over in 2023. And, gentlemen, one more time, good luck.
Yeah, whatever.
Whatever.
Hey, again, I wish you guys nothing but happiness and health in this new year, but I hope y'all lose y'all games, okay?
Happy New Year, fellas.
Happy New Year, guys. Appreciate it.
Hey, you too, fellas. Appreciate you.
Chris Sanders, Kelly Holcomb joining us. George Plaster gets he's absent.
He gets a mulligan.
Unexcused absence today.
Oh, it's unexcused.
For George Plaster, but that's okay. Coming up next, I do want to talk about this Derek Carr situation because it's interesting. And yes, I've already seen it on the text line from a few Titans fans. So we got to address that for sure. More coming here. Chase Willie D. Mace, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
figure out the 48 guys that we got for Thursday night.
It's a short week for the two-tone blue.
The margin for error is very thin.
Titans on 3, 1, 2, 3. As the Titans take on the Cowboys on Thursday Night Football at Nissan Stadium. Join Jared Stillman.
The Titans right now aren't blocking very well.
Chris Sanders.
Where's the explosive plays that we need?
They got a lot of digging down deep to do in this game.
And Derek Mason from Sonny's in Germantown for NFL pregame at 4:30 on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, let's tell you about Lead Company. 567-1000. 615-567-1000 or leadcompany.com. Now, Lead Company, of course, always sponsors our outstanding coverage of Nashville Predators hockey. We're out here. I'm near Disneyland. I'm looking right over. I think I might be able to see Space Mountain from here. Not far. We're on Disney Way. And the Predators will be taking on the Anaheim Ducks. That's coming up on Friday afternoon. Then Saturday afternoon, they'll travel to Las Vegas to take on the Golden Knights. Lead Company will be there with our pregame coverage 1 hour before face-off for every Predators game. Lead Company always on call as well to help you with your heating needs. I know this time of the year, especially after the deep freeze we had, there's a lot of people with pipes and heating issues. Give them a call. They'll be glad to come out and help you. 615-567-1000 or leadcompany.com. Also, just keep it handy. Anytime you need general maintenance at home or at work, they're one phone call away or an online appointment away. 615-567-1000 or leadcompany.com. It's Lead Company. Let their decades of expertise go to work for you.
It's Family Leisure's half-off after Christmas sale.
Up to half off on floor models, scratch and dent, and discontinued merchandise.
Theater seating with two-piece sets starting at only $6.99. Massage chairs are only $9.99 as well.
Air hockey and foosball tables in stock and on sale starting at just $1.99.
Hundreds of full tables in stock for immediate delivery. Slate full tables starting at just $14.99 installed.
Above ground pools are all on sale with 24-foot starting at only $29.99 installed.
Family Leisure's up to half off after Christmas sale going on now.
Antioch and Franklin.
Want to kick off the new year without any credit card debt? If that sounds good to you, you can do it with Loan Pronto's Express Equity Line of Credit. Wipe out all those credit card bills right now. Hey, Willie Donick here. Rates are down, and it's a great move to get on more solid financial footing for the new year. You don't have to do a full home refi. You can tap a portion of the equity you have and enjoy a rate that's a whole lot less than what the banks charge on credit cards. With Loan Pronto's Express Equity Credit Line, you can close in 7 to 10 days. You can access up to 95% of your home's equity. Use that money to pay off those high-interest credit card loans of any type. Credit cards, personal loans, car loans, whatever. Consolidate everything into one easy payment. Even if you did a whole total refi last year, you can tap the equity with this fast, easy program and keep your main loan intact. Call Loan Pronto, 615-499-5780. That's 615-499-5780 or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166-1781, subject to lender approval.
Celebrate New Year's Eve at Rebar at the Dam. Ring in your Nashville New Year with live music from Backlit performing on stage. As always, watch all the big games on the giant video walls and multiple TVs. Advance tickets on sale now. Single $15, couples $25. Rebar at the Dam. Why fight the downtown crowds when you have a party right in your own backyard? Plenty of free, well-lit parking. Rebar at the Dam, just off Stewart's Ferry Pike. It's a damn good time.
TSU basketball lives on 102.1 The Ville. Join Coach Brian Penny Collins and the Tigers for every great moment in the OVC. On your home for TSU basketball, 102.1 The Ville and the Ville app.
Hey, it's ESPN NFL analyst Tim Hasselbeck on Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Chase Willie D. Mace presented by Hair Club. Love your hair, live your life. Creating custom hair loss solutions for men and women. Chase McCabe, Derek Mason at Almost Friday here in downtown Nashville. And again, you can stop by, say hello. A couple of people have dropped in. They have pregame happy hour from 3 to 6. Game night menu throughout the game. Plus, they're giving away a merch bundle, hoodie, a shirt, and an Arctic thermos. So come by, say hello. We'll be here until 2 o'clock. Willie's in Anaheim. Predators will take on the Ducks tomorrow. A 3 o'clock pregame, 4 o'clock puck drop that you can hear right here on 102.5, 106.3 The Game. So Derek Carr no longer the starter for the Raiders. Basically, that means his time in Vegas is over, if I had to guess. He stepped away from the team to avoid a distraction. And whenever, especially when the team we talk about here, the Titans, are losing and just having a bad time, I was waiting for it. When I heard that news yesterday, I'm like, okay, here comes the crowd that's going to go, oh, replace Tannehill with Derek Carr. Well, I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, I don't view that as an upgrade whatsoever. This organization has a lot of other problems other than the quarterback. The quarterback's the least of my worries there. I wouldn't do that. So I think that's just a waste of time to really spend much time on that. But you guys are entitled to your opinion as well. What do you think?
I don't know if this came out of nowhere. I don't know if this was being rumored there in Las Vegas. I don't know. Obviously, that team and their beat writers, they probably know a little bit more than what they do know a little bit more than what we know. So I wonder if this was something that had been speculated in throughout the town, that if Derek Carr doesn't pick up his game, that he could potentially be benched in place of Jarrett Stidham. But it did come as sort of a surprise, considering mathematically the Raiders are still in the playoff hunt. It's highly unlikely they make it, but from a mathematical standpoint, they're still in play. And you figure if we're still in play, why then do you move away from your starting quarterback, who you redid the deal and gave him $121 million extra dollars? Now, granted, they can still cut him this year and save $30 million. So that contract or that restructure they gave him at the beginning of the season really was nothing. It was just money on paper and not necessarily something that would, prevent them from moving on from him. Whatever he's done this season hasn't been good enough for a roster that is talented. But can we blame it all on Derek Carr? Josh McDaniels, his first stint as a head coach was a debacle, and it seems like his second stint as a head coach is also going to be a debacle. He's choosing to turn to a guy that he's familiar with, Jarrett Stidham. He was with the New England Patriots when Josh McDaniel was there. So I think he was there when they drafted Stidham, so he knows him very well. So I guess he's going with the guy that he helped coach, and that he believes that can pull this team out of sort of the inconsistencies they've been at. Derek Carr has over 3,500 yards, 24 touchdowns, but he has thrown a lot of interceptions this year. And you just wonder, Willie, with this team, with all of this talent on this team, why are they in the position that they're in now?
Yeah, it's puzzling to me. That really just dropped out of the sky when I saw that. I don't follow that team closely. They were right on the verge of pulling off a win on Christmas night against Pittsburgh. If they win that game, and this is a big if, but that would have been 5 wins in 6 games. So this is a team that's been the only loss was the other one that they absolutely gave away to Baker Mayfield and the Rams. They should have won that game. So they've been playing much better. So this is weird. Now, he hasn't had huge games during those contests. In fact, he's racked up some interceptions here. So his last 5 games, even though the team is playing better, he's had in the last 5 games 2, 1, 2, 1, 3 with interceptions. So that's a problem. He also, Derek, you might have mentioned this. There's an out. I'm looking at Spot Rack. There's an out in his contract after the year, so they could easily walk away and move in a different direction with not a lot of dead money against them. So
but aren't they one of the teams that, Willie? Aren't they one of the teams that are so cap strapped right now that even if they try to other than probably Derek Carr, if they tried to move away from any other contracts, as well as the contract of the head coach, they couldn't?
That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah.
But, I guess they figure they can't trade him. Mm-hmm. That otherwise I guess they could make this decision at the end of the season. He's not cut per se, right? He's quote stepping away. I don't know who the backup is. That's an interesting one. But you're Josh McDaniels. You're probably sitting there going, okay, this is my first year. We had a bad start. We're playing better. What about next year? And what about the following year? Stidham is interesting to me, though. Does he really view Stidham as the answer? That's
no.
What do you guys think of him?
No, he doesn't view Stidham as the answer.
But he was a part of the coaching staff that drafted him in 19.
Yeah. I think.
But don't you want to win these last couple of games and just sort of ride it out and finish strong? And you think Stidham is better than Carr? I mean, something must be going on behind the scenes there.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, I think it's interesting if, is McDaniels going to survive this? I mean, Nathaniel Hackett got fired and didn't even complete a season. Mm-hmm. And Russell Wilson comes out and says he's heartbroken by it. Give me a break. But I look at this for the Raiders. They have nothing. They have no chance of making the playoffs. They have nothing to play for anymore except for a pick. Just tank at this point. I respect the fact that you have the thought of, hey, finish strong and all that, and maybe the players will do that. Maybe they'll rally around Stidham and they'll figure out a way to do that. But you got to look towards the future now. The coaching carousel in the NFL is a lot more interesting this year than I thought it was going to be, and it's getting more interesting because you had, Hackett, who was a first-year head coach. You had Carr that, or not Carr. You had McDaniels that. Came in, and I thought that the second time around was going to be better for him, and that's just simply not the case. And so now you're going to have, potentially – look, the Sean Payton sweepstakes is about to heat up.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's coming back. That's the rumor is he's already putting together a coaching staff.
That was being put out there a lot by Troy Aikman on Monday night, and, of course, the Colts would be in this hopper as well, you would think. For the Sean Payton sweepstakes. And it's now ringing a bell. I think what you're referring to, Derek, and I guess there was that report how many weeks ago about, hey, even if they wanted to fire Josh McDaniels, they don't have enough cash to pay him out there. Like, it does bring to mind something we talked about in Nashville as well. The old school family-owned teams, the Raiders and the Titans would figure into that. There's less of them, right? There's the ones that go back generations, right? It's much more – they tend to be a little more cash poor. They're not able to just write big checks for signing bonuses and dead money and things like that. And it does come into play. And I think it was about a year ago around this time, maybe just under a year ago when we had that report from Chris Mortensen, and he was talking about that very thing. Up until then, I honestly never thought about it. I never thought – NFL teams would have trouble doing what they wanted to do financially, but I guess that comes into play sometimes.
By the way, there's already a report of the odds of the starting quarterback for the Raiders next year. Care to take a guess?
Who will be Tom Brady?
I'm going to Vegas on Saturday, Chase, if you want me to put some ducats down.
Put some ducats down on number 12, reuniting with Josh McDaniels.
Come on.
That's what I would say at this point. I'll retract my Jets pick and I will say the Raiders. Makes the most sense.
Well, that did. What was it? The Gronk or whatever? There was a report that said it was all but done, right? That Brady was going to come to the Raiders, and then it got nixed for one reason that I can't remember. But
that was supposedly the MFer that Brady was talking about. That it was Carr. That was when he was on the shop or whatever it was. That was the quote where that came from. Coming up next, a lot of you want to weigh in on this. If you're just tuning in, Josh Dobbs will start for the Titans tonight against the Cowboys. Get your thoughts, 615-737-1025. Also, Elliot Friedman coming up at 1 and a special announcement at 1:30 here on Chase William D. Mace, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
Your home for the MTSU Blue Raiders is 102.5 and 106.3 The Game. Every touchdown.
Yes, touchdown.
Every three.
Free ball, yes, sir.
It all lives here.
Middle Tennessee.
You can also hear the Blue Raiders in the Borough on 97.5. Middle Tennessee Athletics on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
from the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
I'm Fox 17 Code Red meteorologist Greg Bobe. It's a very warm day ahead of us. High temperatures low 60s, fairly overcast, and the possibility of a few very light, isolated, short rain showers cannot be ruled out coming in towards the afternoon.
Brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Blood Assurance, this community's local blood centers, is hiring for several open positions in the Nashville area. Be a part of a company that helps save lives by providing the local hospitals with the much-needed life source of blood. They offer competitive pay, great benefits, paid time off, and retirement benefits. Blood Assurance has a family-friendly environment. Go to bloodassurance.org/careers. Again, that's bloodassurance.org/careers to apply.
Hey, Robbie Stanley here. Now's the perfect time to download FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because right now new customers get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. That's free bets back if your first bet doesn't win. All you have to do is sign up with promo code ROB. The Titans and the Cowboys coming up on Thursday Night Football. I'll go with the Cowboys on the money line on that one. The Packers and the Vikings coming up on Sunday. Give me Green Bay at home to take that one. I think the Packers make things interesting coming down the stretch. But you take it any way you want to take it. All on an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. Sign up today with promo code ROB on FanDuel Sportsbook for your no-sweat first bet. Once again, that promo code is ROB. Make every moment more this season with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. Refund issued is non-withdrawable free bets that expires in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Got a gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789.
More than 95% of people incarcerated will come home like I did. I'm William Arnold, director of the new Tennessee Office of Reentry. When they come home, we want to be ready to help remove barriers to employment. It's okay if you've been incarcerated or justice involved. Help is available. Go to tnworkready.com or visit your local American Job Center.
Brought to you by the Tennessee Department of Labor and Workforce Development, the Tennessee Association of Broadcasters, and this station.
tnworkready.com.
Jared Stillman.
This is a team that the entire city is losing their minds over.
Caroline Fenton.
It's one of the youngest teams in the league. They don't have a single player over the age of 30.
Stillman and Company. Afternoons from 2 to 6.
Presented by TriStar Moving.
On Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And on the Game Nashville app. This is Chase, Willie, and D-Mace on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and on the Game Nashville app.
Chase, Willie, D-Mace, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chase McCabe, Derek Mason in Nashville at Almost Friday, 4th in Peabody in the Holiday Inn, and Willie Donick in Anaheim, California. In case you missed it, Josh Dobbs will start. It's pretty much everywhere now for the Titans tonight. No Derrick Henry, it looks like. A lot of guys that are going to be out. And, you know, my take on it is people have been asking on the text line, you know, have we talked about this? We have. We'll get back into it because a lot of you want to weigh in. They got nothing to lose. So why not go ahead and start it? Jill Jelnick at Fox 17 put a poll up on her Twitter account that says, you know, how do you feel about it? And she says, great, give it a shot. Not good. What do we have to lose? I look at it like that. What do you have to lose? This game means absolutely nothing to you. It means everything to Dallas and nothing for you, no matter what happens. Next week is winner take all against Jacksonville for the AFC South. So if you're unsure about Ryan Tannehill and his availability and his health, which I would say you're very unsure about Ryan Tannehill right now, give Willis the week off, go to Dobbs, see what you got as a backup for him, not necessarily as a replacement for Willis, and play with this XFL roster that you're going to put out there tonight and move on.
Yeah, I wonder what the conversation was like with Malik Willis because like pitchers and, whether it be your point guard, certain positions you have to sort of proceed with caution because you don't want it to damage whatever confidence they may have. So I wonder what the conversation was like with Malik Willis when he was told that he wasn't going to be the starter, because he's probably thinking like everyone else is. Listen, this game doesn't matter anyway, so why aren't you starting me? Why aren't you letting me get another opportunity to redeem myself? And I'm sure some of it had to do in what Vrabel said was, listen, we just don't think, that this roster, gives you the best opportunity to show what you can truly do. If they approached it like that, then okay.
And I think that's what
and I think that's how they probably approached it. But if they chose to approach it any other way, man, this could kill whatever confidence this young man has. And frankly, some people might say, we don't care. And, hey, you would, that's your opinion. You would be right. But then there are others that say, hey, well, listen, let the young man go out there and work through what he needs to work through. So I wonder what happens, Willie, if the game isn't going any better than it was with Malik Willis. Do they then go to Malik Willis in the middle of the game or at the end of the game?
What I threw out to you guys earlier this week was I thought that maybe you think about Josh Dobbs for a half. Mm-hmm. You start Willis, and then you go to Dobbs for the second half. But the fact that they're starting Dobbs, I think, says a lot. And I think the assessment is that Malik Willis, in regards to the confidence, I just think his confidence has to be low right now. I think they must have assessed he's just not ready to help them right now. So let's take a step back to hopefully take a couple of steps forward down the road. And maybe next week they have to turn around and say, you know what, Malik Willis is our better of the two options. But they have to find out in the meantime about Josh Dobbs. But I do wonder right now. He's been so ineffective when you get down to it, especially with what's around him, that I think it's this. Look, we have no choice. They had a choice, but the better choice is to just see what we have with Josh Dobbs. You absolutely have nothing to lose, and we try to answer the question, who gives us the better chance of beating Jacksonville in the game that you have to win?
615-737-1025. Adam wants to weigh in on Josh Dobbs on our phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Welcome in, Adam.
Hey, Chase. I look at it like I do like the what have you got to lose, but I feel like Josh, I'm a huge UT fan too, man. You know that. But I still don't feel like this is a very fair assessment of like a situation for him. I'm happy he finally gets his chance to play, but you're going out there with this team. Like I just want to see like a solid quarterback. Like the guy got the ball out of his hands whenever there's a blitzer coming around the corner about to cream him, like Malik would have took a hit or rolled out. I want Josh to get rid of that football. I want him to check the ball down. If he's making smart decisions, because Malik come from Liberty. He was at Liberty last year. Josh spent a career behind really good quarterbacks. So he should be a solid veteran backup quarterback out there. We should see good decisions. So that's what I want to see tonight.
Okay, thanks, Adam.
Thanks, Adam. Appreciate it. Adam makes a good point. You just want to see consistent, good quarterback play from this team. And I don't think under this circumstance you were going to get that with Malik Willis. Him being a rookie, the pace of the game, the speed of the game, trying to work through this play calling and his offensive coordinator. So there's nothing that in this situation that's favorable to Malik Willis. There's really nothing favorable to Joshua Dobbs either, but at least Joshua Dobbs, he's been a backup in this league for a few years, for 3 or 4 years. But nothing about this situation is favorable to either quarterback, especially Malik Willis.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I'm glad you brought that up because Josh Dobbs is not being put in a great situation either.
Exactly.
But he's got to prove. But I would spin it if I'm Josh Dobbs a different way. Look, he's been fighting to get a chance, and you got to take the chance. It's not. You're right. He's not on a loaded roster or anything like that, but he's got to try to prove he belongs in the league. Malik Willis, whether he played in this game or whether he plays next week, he's going to be on the team next year, I think, right? But I like we've been saying, it's like the young rookie pitcher who comes up to the big leagues and gets thrashed all over the park. You have to at some point just assess he's not ready right now. It doesn't mean he won't ever be ready, but right now I just don't see anything he's doing well. And it can't be helping his confidence right now. He's not running the ball. That should be the thing you think he could do, right? A Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, he's nothing near those guys in terms of his feel for when to run, getting big yards. He's had a couple of good runs, but nothing close to impactful when you couple it with he's so limited in the passing game. So if you're Dobbs, you got to say, yeah, call my number. I'm in. I got to prove I can play in this league, and I haven't gotten a chance in however many years he's been in the league. How long has he been in the league? 5 years?
I think this is it his fourth or fifth?
I think fifth, because when 2016 is last.
Yeah, so beggars
Here?
can't be choosy, right? I mean, he's got to take what he can get and just hope that he can look good for a couple of quarters and win a job.
Coy in Clarksville, why can we make quick changes to the quarterback, but Daly is still the left tackle? Anyone off the street, please?
It's a fair question. I know
is a fair question.
Right? They've been looking for a long time. I mean, I cannot assume that they just overlook that, right? And say, Daly will be okay. Like, I think they look every week to see if there's something better, but they just don't feel like there is.
Here's the question for you guys. And Wes in Clarksville has inspired this, so I'll give him credit for that. How many times do we hear Rocky Top in that stadium tonight? You know they got to play it at least once.
Yeah, but that's usually something they already have in the queue. Everything
set up. But I mean, you got to like Wes said, they need to play Rocky Top during the intros. I mean, you got to get something out of the crowd tonight.
I mean, I don't. Hey, whatever it takes to get this crowd, whatever crowd that's going to be at the game tonight, to get them going. It may be just a bunch of Cowboy fans.
Yeah, and a texter says, don't forget this is going to be a Cowboys home game. Crowd noise will be an issue for Dobbs. I do have the hats. I'm going to put the hat on.
I do think it's safe to say. Don't we think it's safe to say the Cowboys will have more fans than the Titans tonight? I
wouldn't doubt it.
Will they have one extra tonight or one less? Who knows? We'll find out at the end of the show how that's going to go. But coming up next, we're going to talk to Elliot Friedman. Be good to chat with him about all things NHL and Preds. We'll do that next here on Chase Willie D. Mace, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
You love the game.
The doors on the board. Touchdown at TSU.
We live the game.
Going up against that defense, he can make some plays and take that next step.
We are
a gunny performance. Do your job.
And the Tigers regain the lead.
The Game. Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game, and the Game Nashville app.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
TSA is hiring full and part-time transportation security officers at Nashville International Airport. These positions start at $20.29 per hour and include excellent federal benefits, paid on-the-job training, weekend and holiday pay, a potential pay raise after 6 months, and a $5,000 sign-on bonus. No previous security experience required. Join a mission that matters and apply online at jobs.tsa.gov/TSO. That's jobs.tsa.gov/TSO. Some conditions apply.
The 2023 model year Fords are in at Two Rivers Ford, and as always, you can count on Two Rivers to make purchasing fast, easy, and fun. And there are so many ways to shop. You can stop by the dealership in Mount Juliet, you can reach out by phone and talk to any of their non-commissioned salespeople, or you can head to tworiversford.com and custom order the exact Ford you want. Whether it's an F-150, Bronco, Explorer, Escape, or Expedition, Two Rivers Ford will make sure you get exactly what you want for a price that's well below MSRP, and that goes for both in-stock vehicles and custom orders. In fact, Two Rivers Ford has been selling all non-specialty new Fords below MSRP for decades. And speaking of decades, Two Rivers Ford has been locally owned since 1983. So you can feel good about doing business with a dealer that has longevity. So if you're in the market for a Ford, reach out to Two Rivers Ford and see for yourself why they're the most trusted dealer in Tennessee. Two Rivers Ford, powered by Ford, driven by people.
312 Pizza Company is home to Southeastern Carolines with Caroline Fenton.
Live from the Game Nashville studios. WPRT FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne. Nashville's exclusive home for the Nashville Predators. 102.5 and 106.3.
A gunny performance.
Do your job.
And the Tigers regain the lead.
The Game.
A Cromwell Media Station.
These are battles, these are grinds. We don't panic, we don't freak out. That's how we're built.
1, 2, 3. This is your drive to the playoffs update, presented by Coleman Tractor, Tennessee's largest Kubota dealer, on 102.5 and 106.3. The Game and the Game Nashville app.
It's game day in Nashville, and the Titans have already ruled out some notable players. Ryan Tannehill, Jeffrey Simmons, Nicholas Petit-Frere, Monty Hooker, Bud Dupree, Zach Cunningham, Dylan Cole, and Josh Thompson. Not officially ruled out yet, but doubtful to play, Derrick Henry, Christian Fulton, and Danico Autry. Week 18 will determine who takes the AFC South in Jacksonville. Mike Vrabel said at this point, they're just trying to fight for a playoff spot.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we're all, we're all fighting for is to get into the tournament and then figure out a way to do that. We have a game Thursday. We have a huge opportunity in front of us, on a national stage. And I think that, again, whether you look at some of these games that were close and for other reasons didn't go our way, that's disappointing because you had some opportunities. And you could say, well, it was because of this or that, or, you're beating the Jaguars and you turn it over 4 times and don't do a good enough job on sudden change on defense, or then you go out to L.A. and, it's competitive and it's on and on and on. But now it's focusing on, where we're at with the Cowboys.
Kickoff is set for 7:15 tonight. This report is presented by Coleman Tractor. I'm Michelle Knezovic for 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
Now let's see if we can bring them to life, all right?
Bringing you entertainment and informative sports talk during your workday.
Smart, funny, classy, and I like him a lot.
This is Chase, Willie, and D-Mace with Chase McCabe, Willie Donick,
Mason, touchdown, Tennessee.
and former NFL wide receiver Derek Mason. Presented by Hair Club. Hair Club. Love your hair. Live your life. On Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And on the Game Nashville app.
Chase, Willie, D-Mace, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chase McCabe, Derek Mason in Nashville at Almost Friday. Willie Donick in Anaheim as the Predators will take on the Ducks tomorrow. A back-to-back against Anaheim and Las Vegas to close out 2022. Hope you're having a great Thursday. Come by Almost Friday, say hi to us, and have a chance to win their merch pack as well. Sad news out of the soccer world as three-time World Cup champion Pele, the greatest soccer player ever, passing away, I believe at the age of 82. But just seeing that breaking news. I know he had been sick, but a sad news. And, Willie, you said you got to meet him as a kid. That's pretty cool. You got to do that.
I did. It was that's a sad story. But when Pele retired from the New York Cosmos, I was living in New York. My dad was an athletic director at a Division III school called Manhattanville College, who actually has a good hockey program now. They didn't at the time. But they had a lot of soccer fields, a ton of fields. And they had a great soccer program. Arnie Ramirez was the coach. He was tied in with some of Pele's people, and they were looking for a place to hold soccer camps over the summer. So they had the Pele soccer camps, and Pele, just in this kind of out-of-the-way spot, was hanging out on the Manhattanville campus, and he wanted to learn some tennis. My mom was a tennis coach, and so she taught him a lesson one time. I got to be the ball boy. So I got to meet Pele, and I went to the soccer camp. I never turned into a good soccer player at all, but I'll still never forget meeting him and just the presence that he had. What an amazing person. Just a friendly person.
Yeah.
Too. So
sometimes not even the greats can help you, Willie.
Yep, that's right.
Well,
so I smartly turned to other sports.
The great one of the greats that helps us every week is Elliot Friedman of Sportsnet and Hockey Night in Canada. He joins us now for his weekly visit. Elliot, hope you had a fantastic Christmas.
I did. Thank you very much. I have to tell you that to even be put in the same sentence as Pele, that's like libel to him. Like, you just libeled Pele.
Yeah. Well, you're one of the greats in our eyes, covering the National Hockey League. And as we close out 2022, the Dallas Stars were in town the other night against the Predators, got the win over them as they lead the Central Division. I got to tell you, I'm pretty impressed with this Stars team, and I wasn't sure about them going into the season. Obviously, a long way to go. They got to sustain it, but to me, they seem like they're definitely one of the teams to beat.
There's no doubt about that, and it's really interesting, guys, because a couple of years ago, it was really uncomfortable in there. I think they were not happy with the way Ben and Sagan were producing after being given those long-term deals, and both those guys have battled a lot of injuries. Like, their bodies have taken a lot of punishment, but there was some real unhappiness about it. And I think the team was potentially considering changes or a succession plan for Jim Nill. And instead, what happened was they went and they found younger players who've kind of taken over the team. And Joe Pavelski, who's a bit older, has obviously been huge for them too. But I think their younger players have kind of taken over the team, and it's really helped in the sense now you've got Robertson, you've got Hintz, you've got Heiskanen as kind of your best players. And Ben and Sagan, they're still important, but they can play more secondary roles. And you've got to have goaltending. They've got it. That Ottinger is a good goalie. On the fly, they've almost rebuilt themselves. Like, I can see you guys looking at Dallas and saying, holy cow, like, that's the kind of thing that we want to do is, we don't want to drop too far out of the playoffs. We don't want to miss it too many years in a row, but we've got to hit on some of our picks so that, Jason Robertson, he was a second rounder. I think he went 39th overall. You've got to hit on those so that you can do that, and Dallas has sure done it. They don't have a lot of weaknesses. I mean, in this league, as you guys know, anything can happen in the playoffs, but they look really, really good.
Why do you see somebody like Pete DeBoer, he expects a lot. He's he's tough around the edges. He reminds me of Peter Laviolette, who was here. Guys like that seem to have quick results because of that system. And then you kind of see it fall off after a while. I guess the message gets old, but that has worked for him now at pretty much every stop he's made along the way. Why do you think that is?
Well, I think, guys, I think you kind of hit it right there. Laviolette took you to within 2 wins of a Stanley Cup Stanley Cup victory, and eventually he was fired too. I think, I think that just shows how incredible it was that Barry Trotz lasted as long in Nashville as he did. I just think in this league, when you are constantly, or even anywhere in pro sports or in business, if you are constantly pushing to get the best out of people, it's hard to have the same message for all those years. I look at the Pittsburgh Steelers since 1970, they've had 3 coaches, and they've had a lot of success. Not as much as they used to, but they've had a lot of success. I just think a guy like you mentioned, like Peter DeBoer, he's a crusty guy. He's a good coach. He's a crusty guy, and he delivers a hard message. Not everybody who's played for him has liked playing for him, but he pushes you to be at your best. And to win championships in pro sports, you're going to need there's going to be times that you're going to be tired, or you're going to be hurt, or the going really gets tough. And you need somebody who, some people, they always are able to motivate themselves to get the most greatness out of themselves. But other people need a push, and even the best need a push from time to time. And I just think that when you're constantly doing that, it is hard to last a long time. So I look at people like, Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, Mike Tomlin, and now John Cooper and Barry Trotz, who you guys know well. And for those guys to last as long as they have, it's really incredible. It really is.
We're talking to Elliot Friedman, 32 Thoughts, the podcast, Hockey Night in Canada. Elliot, I remember a couple years ago all of the scuttlebutt when I think it was the Flyers that came to Nashville the night before they were supposed to, after the Christmas break, and they got busted, and it was a big deal. And I didn't think anybody would try it again, but apparently the Leafs tried to circumvent the rules, and it's going to cost them some money.
What are you doing up there in Toronto, Elliot? Come on now.
It's like 1850s Klondike up here, guys. There's no rules. It's lawless. So this is what happens. So in the NHL, there's a rule that from December 23rd to 26th, and especially when it happens over a weekend, you can't travel. Or December 24th, 25th, and 26th, you can't travel. Excuse me, because there are teams that play on the 23rd. So Toronto had to go to St. Louis, which is, it's about an hour and a half, 2-hour flight. It's a little longer than teams like to do on that first day. So Toronto scheduled it where they would take off at 12:01 a.m. on the 27th. That was their plan. And I have to say this, I've heard from multiple sources that the players agreed to this. So it wasn't like this was simply the organization pushing them. I've heard the players agreed to it, and to this point, no one's disputed that. Well, the players were ready to go earlier than that, and maybe, they hadn't played since the afternoon on the 22nd, so maybe they were sick of their families or whatever, but they were ready to go before that. And so the flight took off at 10:30 p.m. on the night of the 26th. That's a violation. And if you actually look at the CBA, and I posted a link to it in my Twitter account, it actually says in there, you cannot even ask the players. You cannot even say it's up to them. You can't even request it. It's a no-go. And the other thing is, another team that had a pretty long flight for a same day of a game was Chicago. They had to go to Carolina, and they asked the league if they could go at night on the 26th, and the league said no. They said, these are the rules. They're collectively bargained. You can't do it. So Toronto's guys were supposed to leave at 12:01 a.m. They left about 90 minutes earlier. The players have said, okay, no one's disputed that to me, but the league was like, too bad. The rules are the rules, and they got fined $100K. And I think Toronto looks at it like, you know what? We'll eat it. We'll sell a few more hot dogs next home game, whatever. But I think they look at it as our players wanted this, so we'll eat the fine. It'll be interesting to see if anything comes out of this down the road in terms of, do they work to change this, or do the fines get heavier?
Alex Ovechkin is now sole possession of second place.
Yeah,
it's just remarkable, Elliot, how he just keeps churning out those goals. And when the Predators first entered the league, and Wayne Gretzky was still playing, he was in the last year of his career, so he came to Nashville one time, and I remember we had this big thing. Gretzky's coming to town. He had 5 assists in the game, by the way, for the Rangers. In his only game. That was pretty much something. But we looked at the numbers, and we were thinking, look at just for beginner hockey fans, how much further up the charts Gretzky is than anybody else in all of these categories. So I never dreamed at that point that anybody could get close, even to the goals. But it's remarkable that it looks like Ovechkin, if he stays anywhere close to this path, he'll get there eventually.
The amazing thing about it is, I'm with you. I never thought anyone would ever get close. The league was too tight. I think one of the things that's happened is the league has embraced offense a lot more. They've made it a lot harder to defend, which I think most people would argue that that's a good thing, but they've finally done that. But the other thing, too, is at the 2016 World Cup of Hockey, I did a sit-down with Ovechkin, and I give credit to my coworker, David Amber, because he's the one who's been on this. He was really the first one to get on it. And so that was 6 years ago, and he said, Ovechkin's going to catch Gretzky. Ask him about it. I was like, you're nuts. And he goes, ask him. So I was looking for something different to ask him because by that time Ovechkin had been asked a billion same questions. So I asked him that. And, I've posted the link on one of my blogs. He looks at me like I'm an alien. He's like, are you nuts? That's not going to happen. I'm going to have to score 50 goals for 6 more years. He actually says, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to skate in 6 more years. And, he's going to do it. And I think he's going to break the record, and I think he wants to break the record. Like that's the thing. Like, some guys get close to a record, and they either get, just crushed by the pressure or they have any doubt. This guy has no doubt, and he embraces the pressure. He's going to do it. And I think it's incredible. I never thought I would see this in my lifetime. that someone would break this record, and he's probably about 2.5 years away, 3 at most. It's pretty incredible.
Before we let you go, Elliot, Connor Bedard and some of the best young players in the world are playing in the World Juniors right now.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much talk right now about the first pick. Maybe you could explain what the league has done these last couple of years. And when you say the word tank, right, teams that there's some obvious teams that are in the process of tanking. There's other teams, fan bases that are saying, well, what if we tank? Like, what could we get in on this? What are your odds on the ping pong balls of getting a guy like Bedard? And is Bedard in the league of some of these other guys who can turn your franchise quickly?
So we do this segment on our Leaf regional games, which I absolutely cannot stand, but I'm forced to do it. Like basically at gunpoint, I have to do it. It's called Burning Questions, and what it is they want you to give a hot take on a question. And so the last Thursday, one of the questions was, who is the best player in the hockey player under the age of 22? And this was one where I said, okay, this could bite me. I'm going to do it. And my answer was Connor Bedard, who isn't even in the NHL yet. And he had a huge night last night. And by the end of this tournament, he's going to be the highest scoring player in Canadian World Junior history. He's going to pass Wayne Gretzky. And, I think he's legit. I do. I don't like tanking. I think it's bad for your sport. We haven't had it on the level of like sometimes in Major League Baseball or the NBA, but we've the 1 year where Connor McDavid was eligible and Jack Eichel was the second pick, like Buffalo and Arizona had a legendary tankathon, like an absolute legendary tankathon. And then Arizona got screwed. They dropped to third. So I like the lottery. I like the fact that you can't, there's a risk involved. This kid's legit. Like I said, I don't like tanking, but I understand why teams are doing it this year. You can't win the Stanley Cup with one player. I mean, you look, Connor McDavid, he's never been out of the second round. It's not his fault. Austin Matthews, he's never been out of the first round. Not his fault. In this league, you need great talent and depth to win. You cannot win without it. But that kid is going to rejuvenate a franchise. Now, they changed the lottery odds a couple of years ago. So basically now you can no longer go any more than 10 spots up. So you have to be in the bottom 11 to win the first overall pick. And you also can't win the lottery now more than twice in a 5-year period. So basically right now, Chicago, the worst team in the league, has a 25.5% chance to get the number one pick. And the second worst is Anaheim. They're at 13.5. So that's kind of the way it goes now. So there's a lottery for the top 2 spots. You can only move up a maximum 10. But the one thing we're all watching this year, guys, is Florida. Florida traded their first-round pick in this season's draft to Montreal last year at the deadline for Ben Sherratt, and they didn't protect it. They didn't put any lottery protections on it. So right now, Florida is the 8th worst team in the league. Like, it's a 5% chance. If the draft lottery was held today, they would have a 5% chance of winning it, and that pick would go to Montreal. Like, that's got to be a tough one for the Panthers to watch.
Ooh. Yeah, for sure. Elliot, Happy New Year. Appreciate it as always, and we'll talk to you next week.
Happy New Year, guys. Great weekend, great New Year's to all the great hockey fans of Nashville.
Absolutely. He's Elliot Friedman, Sportsnet, Hockey Night in Canada, the author of the 32 Thoughts, joins us every Thursday at 1 here on the show. We'll get into a little bit with the Predators as they take on Anaheim tomorrow. Coming up next here on Chase Willie D-Mace, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
Want the latest on college football and Nashville sports?
He looks like 1,000 quarterbacks I've seen in a college game.
Join Outkick 360's Chad Withrow every Friday at 5 with Stillman and Company.
The coaching staff kept him and got rid of the other guy.
He'll bring opinions and charisma for a full half hour every week.
If he's so great in the locker room, then give him a coaching gig.
Chad Withrow is presented by Two Rivers Ford. Custom order your new Ford from Two Rivers Ford on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Didn't get what you wanted for Christmas? Never fear. Hi-Fi Buy's legendary after Christmas sale is here. We're grossly overstocked and need to reduce inventory now. Most items are at or slightly above dealer cost. Make an offer. Any reasonable offer accepted. Stunningly low prices on high-performance products. Even better prices on high-end display models. Don't miss out. Hi-Fi Buy's legendary after Christmas sale is on now.
Retail store only. Manufacturers that prohibit discounting excluded.
Your weekend plans just got easier. Almost Friday Sporting Club is the hottest new place to watch the game and hang with your squad. Steps from Broadway with quick parking, an incredible food and drink menu, 21 screens with every game on, games, DJs, and all the fun you can handle. Come hang out at Almost Friday Sporting Club. If it's not Friday, it's Almost Friday. AlmostFridayNash.com.
Commence Suckdown!
I love this show.
Never miss a moment of the show.
Okay, all right, okay.
Subscribe to the Chase, Willie, and D-Mace podcast on iTunes, Spotify, and wherever you get your podcasts.
I'm ready to step this up a notch.
You're listening to Chase, Willie, and D-Mace on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and on the Game Nashville app.
Chase, Willie, D-Mace, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. That was a short break. And I'm caught eating.
Hey, man, we're trying to get it in, trying to get that food in. Great food here at Almost Friday. Come on,
yeah,
man.
I know. There is great food. That got some mozzarella sticks and some chips and salsa.
We got some avocado toast.
Derek ordered half the menu.
Oh, no, that wasn't me. I ordered avocado toast. I ordered French toast, which is excellent. Avocado toast, like just bam, your taste buds just explode eating that avocado toast. And then French toast is good too.
See, in 2023, like most people, I'm going to eat better and go on a diet, and work out, and all that stuff. And so maybe avocado toast is in my future.
Yeah, I mean, hey, let's splurge now before the year's up,
exactly.
And then start the new year off right.
Exactly. Willie is in Anaheim, California. Predators and Ducks tomorrow, and then on New Year's Eve day, they will take on Vegas. I'm very disappointed and sad for you that you don't get New Year's Eve in Vegas. That's probably by design and probably a wise move if I had to guess, but I know you'll fly back. But, hey, at least you get a couple days in sunny California.
Yeah, in fact, here's a news flash.
Mm-hmm.
It's been raining this morning. What the heck is going on? Let's go. Get the sun out here. This is not what I signed up for. I want to be able to get outside and move around a little bit, hang out with Mickey Mouse or something.
So are you near Angel Stadium?
Yes, very very close to the Halo. Yeah,
very
the
cool.
Big A.
I know you wish it was baseball season. You could go catch a game, but
yeah,
it's not.
I would. I have. I've seen a couple of games when the Predators been out this way. Gone over to see the Angels. Saw Mike Trout go deep in a game that we all attended, including Ryan Porth, who got the biggest plastic helmet full of nachos ever seen by man. I mean, it was enormous.
I'll have to let him know that story has come up. He's in town.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll have to let him know. But what are you expecting about out of this one tomorrow? Because as I said earlier, the team's not playing bad. They're not closing out games. And, I hate that mentality. I know not the mentality, but that phrase, and I know the fans are tired of hearing that. Like, great, win games. But they're right there, and they've been right there in some of these games, but haven't been able to close them out.
Yeah, and it's interesting, first, who they're playing. Just that last answer by Elliot Friedman was really eye-opening, right? This Connor Bedard, and there's a couple of guys at the top of the draft who are really, really good. But it's important to know the rule changes. Let's say the Blackhawks end up being the worst team, which is what they're trying to do. They're trying to be the worst team. They have still only a 25% chance of getting the first pick. So that is, if you're simply putting your eggs in that basket, there's still a very good chance you don't get the first pick. Now, if you get, they might say, look, we'll be okay with the second or third pick. There's some really good players there. Anaheim's in that mix as well. Now, Anaheim won last night. They beat the Vegas Golden Knights. So what you have going on out here now is a little round robin between these three teams, right? Nashville plays Anaheim tomorrow. They play Vegas the next day. Vegas just played Anaheim. They played Nashville on New Year's Eve day. So you got a little mini tournament going on out here. But these are the games that you like when you're 500 and you're searching for wins and you're searching for goals, you have to play well and take care of teams like Anaheim. And it's not always easy, right? Anaheim just showed that they could beat one of the best teams in the NHL last night. So anything can happen from night to night. The Ducks beat the Golden Knights. But, Nashville has to be the more desperate team tomorrow, and I hope I'm seeing that. Because as you said, Chase, they're doing a lot of things right. I think they are playing better. They're getting more offensive chances, and they're still defending pretty well. They're obviously still getting excellent goaltending, which is what I think still gives you hope that they can make something of this season. They just have to – it's the same thing we've been saying for a while now. But I think the rest of their game has rounded to form. But they have to find ways to score. You cannot win games 2-1 every night. You just can't do it. So they've got to find those extra goals, and hopefully that will happen soon.
Yeah, and, they missed Matt Duchene the other night, who was out with the birth of his child, which I have no qualms with him doing that. I mean, that, you got to be family first. I know that, players have played during that, but he chose not to, and I have no problem with that. Now he's, having him back is going to be big because I think he's been playing well. But as you said, got to score. Got to put the puck in the back of the net, and they've struggled to do that. And that's the whole point of the game.
Yeah.
And Mark Jankowski came in there and played a good game. He did some nice things there. They had enough chances to win that game. Same thing with the game before the Christmas break against Colorado. They had chances to get goal number 4. And it's really frustrating. But, look, that's the NHL. This is a league where you have to score now. And, you have to hope that some of these plays where you're firing at the net, you got the guy there, he tips it, it could bounce any way, and it's just not bouncing the Predators' way. You got to hope you get a couple of those. You get a guy like Philip Forsberg hot, you get Duchene back in there, and he continues to score. The potential is there, I think, for a lot more success, but they've got to go do it.
It's one of those things where, you've played well enough to win games, but obviously you haven't been able to pull them out, these close games. Well, you don't change what you're doing. You continue to play the way you've been playing, and eventually I think, things will start to happen for your offense. If you try to change things, it might not. But I think what they have been doing has been good. They just haven't been able to pull it out late, Case in point, the other night, I mean, we thought that the game was going into overtime, and then all of a sudden, you get under a minute, and they score a goal with 50-something seconds left. So, whose fault it was, I don't know if you can particularly point at one person, but if you continue to do the things you have been doing, I think eventually it'll break.
Yes, indeed. Coming up next, we have a very special announcement here on 102.5 The Game, and I'm looking forward to it. We will do that coming up next. Again, if you're just tuning in, Josh Dobbs will start for the Titans tonight. Looks like no Derrick Henry for the Titans as well. Tony Pollard out for the Cowboys. And Ian Rappaport saying Henry will play next week, the source said, against Jacksonville. They're gearing up for the winner-take-all. That is for sure. A special announcement coming up next. But first, Willie, you have a word on Loan Pronto.
Yep, let's talk Loan Pronto. If you're looking to get some things going in 2023 with your finances, Loan Pronto has the tool that can really help you, and that is the Express Equity Line of Credit Program. It's helped a lot of people, and if you've got some needs, maybe the second semester is coming around, you got a tuition payment to knock out, or maybe you've got credit card bills or a car loan or a home improvement project that you want to get going. Loan Pronto can help you because you can keep locked in the mortgage rate that's been successful for you. You may not be able to improve on that right now, but if you still need cash, you can close in 7 to 10 days, and you can access up to 95% of your home's equity. And you can tap a portion of that equity, enjoy a rate that's a whole lot less than what the banks charge on credit cards. So you can get that credit card bill down to zero, that car loan down to zero, or address that need for a home improvement project and add value to your home. Even if you did a total refi last year, you can tap the equity with this fast, easy program and keep that main loan intact. Call Loan Pronto now, 615-499-5780. That's 615-499-5780, or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166-1781, subject to lender approval.
Friday.
Duchesne, he scores! Matt Duchesne.
Your Nashville Predators hit the road to take on the Anaheim Ducks. Pre-game at 3, face-off at 4 on your home for Smashville. 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Treat yourself to the gifts you really wanted at the Electronic Express Huge After Christmas Sale. Our convenient locations have great deals on all of your favorite brands like Samsung, LG, Apple, Sony, and more. Electronic Express has huge savings in every department. 4K TVs, computers, appliances, housewares, gaming, and more. Save up to 40% with up to 48 months free financing. Shop in-store or online and get free express delivery on most items. Electronic Express. We make it happen.
In 1972, a Nashville family business story began when Bill and Beverly Finley founded Volunteer Hose and Gasket. 3 generations have grown the business into the local industry leader supplying just about anything to anybody, from the largest of contractors to your neighbor that mows his own yard. Over 1 million items in stock: belts, belting accessories, gaskets, gauges, hose fittings, hydraulics, industrial hoses, lubricants, sealing products, tubing, fire protection, and more. All at volunteerhose.net. If Volunteer Hose and Gasket doesn't have it, then you probably don't need it. Call them at 615-242-0461.
Hey, it's Chase McCabe, and every season is screwball season in my house. No matter the time of year, that rich, smooth taste just hits the spot. Y'all know Screwball. It's made with real whiskey, peanuts, and peanut butter, and it's just flat out delicious. It's my favorite. However you take it, as a shot, in an espresso martini, or a peanut butter old-fashioned, make it a Screwball peanut butter whiskey. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2022 Screwball Spirits, LLC, San Diego, California. Whiskey with natural flavors, 35% alcohol by volume.
OrderGreen.com. You know them by now. They're my only choice for high-quality THC and CBD products, and they're delivered right to my doorstep. Hey, folks, Joe Rexrode here. Yes, you heard that right. OrderGreen.com will send cannabis products right to you with discreet same-day shipping. OrderGreen.com has been great for me. Just what I need during this busy time of year. Takes the edge off physically, mentally. Terrific products. And if you use promo code Joe20, you're going to get 20% off your first purchase at OrderGreen.com. Do you have a subscription to OrderGreen.com? It'd be a lot cooler if you did. You won't be able to tell if you're in Colorado or Tennessee. Trust me. That's OrderGreen.com.
Hey, it's Mike from Newton Nissan South. I love this time of year. Christmas music, big meals, and maybe even a little snow. There's just something in the air. I don't know about you guys, but I have my leg lamp in the window and my moose glass for eggnog. I'm ready to kick off these holidays right. At Newton, we want to help you kick off the holidays right by helping spread the holiday spirit. And trust me, we have a lot of holiday spirit. We love helping customers find ways to surprise their loved ones with a new car. Can you imagine the look in their face Christmas morning? And if you aren't sure you're on the good list, we can put in a good word with a big guy. Don't be a Scrooge. Change your car buying experience in Newton and find out how we can help you start off the holidays with a new car. We have more new cars in stock right now than we've had any time in the past year. It's like a Christmas miracle. Kind of. Shop at NewtonNissanSouth.com to find your next car today.
Can't get enough Vanderbilt basketball?
Intercepted right all by himself for a one-hand flush.
Your home for the Commodores is 93.3 Classic Hits.
Put it up. It's good. Count it.
Join Coach Jerry Stackhouse and his team on their journey through the SEC.
Pulls a trigger. Yes, from 3.
Check out Vandy Hoops on 93.3 Classic Hits and the Classic Hits app.
Hey, this is Matthias Ekholm. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Time to play the game. Time to play the game.
Chase, Willie, D. Mace, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. And it is time to play the game. Chase McCabe, Derek Mason, and Almost Friday, downtown Nashville. Willie Donick is in Anaheim. And, that's the suit music right there. That's the,
vintage suit music.
Vintage suit music. Little Triple H gets me fired up and feeling good. We got some business to take care of.
Absolutely.
And I'm excited about it because it's going to be good for the station. It's a little bittersweet for the three of us, but there's a lot to get to, and we're efforting to have another piece of this and having some technical issues with it, but we hope to have that in a minute. But starting Monday, the lineup is going to look a little bit different here on 102.5, 106.3 The Game. We're not subtracting, we're adding, and we're getting better. And when I took over as program director, I wanted to do what's best for business, and I wanted to feature, some great young talent. I wanted to obviously feature you, Derek, and have you as a part of things again, and be Nashville's best sports talk. And I think that we have accomplished that to this point, and we can only continue to add to that to this point. And that's what we're going to do starting Monday with a new improved lineup. Robbie and Rexroad is now going to go 6 to 9 a.m. And we're going to insert a new show from 9 to 11, an expansion franchise, if you will.
There we go.
Is what we're going to call it. And because of that, it means I'm going to leave you guys. And, that's the hard part because I've worked with both of you in various roles many years now that we've all been together. And Chase, Willie, and D. Mace has been a lot of fun to build. But, I do have, other duties and other things. And this isn't about me. I want to feature other people. So I'm excited to move to the 9 to 11 slot with Michelle Knezovic, who has done a tremendous job on our morning show as the executive producer of Robbie and Rex. So she will continue in that role, but then she will slide over into the host chair from 9 to 11 with me.
Congrats, Michelle.
Yeah.
That's great for Michelle.
Yeah, she deserves it. And she's done a great job with Junie Riddle, who is another up-and-comer who is filled in for me some this week and worked with you guys. He's done an awesome job. And so that's kind of the big part of, wanting to feature some younger and upcoming talent. But I'm excited about that, but I'm sad to leave you guys too because we've had a lot of fun.
Yeah, we have. And, me being a part of the radio show, coming in at a point of time, where everything was hectic. The Predators were in the Stanley Cup. They were going on their Stanley Cup run, and I had to immerse myself quickly into that, and I wouldn't have been able to do it without the help of Willie, Darren, and yourself, Chase, at the time. And you guys have helped me tremendously. And then being able to come back and work with you and Willie, it's been tremendous for me. I continue to learn from you guys, especially when it comes to the hockey realm. I continue to learn from you guys. So it's been a complete pleasure to do a show with you, not just once, but twice. And you became a friend. You will always be a friend. And best believe I will be listening to you and Michelle from 9 to 11.
So that leads us to this show. And I think we might have our technical issues fixed now. What's going to happen with this show? Well, Derek and Willie aren't going anywhere. A question that I have been asked since day one, since I took over, is when are you going to give Caroline Fenton her own show? Well, I'm going to do that right now. Caroline is going to move into this role. She has done an awesome job with Stillman and Company. So I'm plucking her away to feature her a little bit more, and she deserves it. She's worked her butt off. She's been a great addition to the team, and I know she's at Sonny's Patio Pub right now. And Caroline, you deserve this, and I'm excited to hear Caroline, Willie, and D-Mace and all the potential that it has.
Well, thank you, Chaser, and thank you for believing in me and bringing me into this new role that I am so, so ready for. And I've said this so many times. Ryan Porth, just about 2 years ago, had no business hiring some 23-year-old with no radio experience, but he was crazy enough to believe in me, and so was Jared. In these last 2 years, I have learned so much about this city and this industry and how this works from Jared. And so everything I've learned from him, I'm ready to take on a new role, and I'm ready to start on middays with D-Mace and Willie.
Yeah, it's going to be cool.
It's going to be, it's going to be great. Having Caroline now a part of this show, it's a new show, but then again, it's not a new show. When she filled in for you, Chase, she did a wonderful job, and I told her that I love her energy and what she brings to the show, her knowledge of every sport, and just her upbeatness, and she will challenge us, and we will challenge her, which in turn will make this will make this a even better show than what it has been. And I'm sure our listeners, will love that this is a shot at Jared. Will love that Caroline gets to speak a little bit more now.
Yeah,
I love you, Jared. You know that.
And listen, Jared's been very supportive of this and has done an awesome job mentoring Caroline. And so I have no doubt that this is going to be an awesome move, and Stillman and Company will remain. Jared's going to have a lot of company coming through that will help with that. And the cool part about this, and this show will run 11 to 2 now. 6 to 9 with Robbie and Rexroad, 9 to 11 with Chase and Michelle, Caroline, Willie, D-Mace, 11 to 2, and Stillman and Company remains 2 to 6. You're going to hear us all in different places. I'm still going to stop by and check on y'all from time to time. Y'all will come hang out with me. Caroline will have to check on Jared every now and then. I mean, look, that's a
you
part
can't
of
leave
it.
him to his own. You can't leave him to his own
I
devices.
can't
Caroline.
go completely
Yes.
cold turkey. I
No.
cannot do that. I would never leave him hanging.
No, I worry about him, so you got to check on him. But like I said, I'm excited about this lineup, and again, we're growing, and that's what this is, and to bring you Nashville's best sports talk. So starting Monday. That is our new lineup here on 102.5, 106.3 The Game. And congratulations to Michelle Knezovic, who's going to have more of an expanded role from 9 to 11, while also being on Robbie and Rexroad. And then, of course, Caroline Fenton. The girls taking over, and I love it.
Yeah.
It's a youth movement.
How you feel about it, Willie?
Well, I feel good about it, and that's one of the things that you just mentioned, Chase, that I have been really proud of as I will now call myself a veteran, who is here sort of from the beginning of 102.5 The Game. But I've got a chance to watch really good people come up through the ranks and expand their roles, internally. Like Chase, you're a great example. When I joined the station, you joined as an intern right around the same time,
Jeez.
and here you are as the suit. Now but you're a talent. You've developed your talent. You're a person that could do really everything a radio station is looking for. And now I see Caroline and Michelle coming up through the ranks, and now their roles are growing, right? They started at one level, and now they've moved up in a short period of time because they've worked really hard. They have a lot of talent, and they get better and better at learning our market, learning how to use their talent. So, I mean, it's just an awesome thing. So I'm excited to work with Caroline. I'm really pumped up for Michelle that she's going to get her role. And you mentioned Junie. Junie had a great week with us earlier this week. He's a guy that's an up-and-comer who's going to have an expanded role as well. So I like how we're developing talent, and I'm excited how we're going to be in 2023.
Yeah, me too. Talent development is everything, and that is what we're doing. So, Caroline, thank you. I'll let you get ready for Stillman and Company, and ironically, you're filling in for me tomorrow, but everything.
It's a soft launch.
It's a soft launch. There you go. But everything will get started Monday at 6 a.m. with Robbie and Rexroad, and you'll be a part of Stillman and Company coming up in just a few minutes. So looking forward to that as they'll get you ready for Titans and Cowboys. But can you beat Vegas this football season?
Nick.
Thanks, guys. Can you beat Vegas this football season? Superbook Sports gives you the chance every week to go head-to-head with the best odds makers in Las Vegas. There's no fancy computer algorithms. There's no guys across the pond setting the lines for American sports. Just the best team of odds makers in the biz, and they're right there behind the counter at the Superbook in Las Vegas. Plus, Superbook features some of the best odds boosts and promo bets anywhere. So download the Superbook Sports app, or you can visit superbook.com and start your battle against Vegas right now. The line tonight, last I checked, Cowboys a huge favorite over the Titans, 13.5 is the line now, 14 on the Superbook Sports app. Visit superbook.com for terms and conditions. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789.
Every Wednesday at 8:45. Come on. Join Robbie and Rexroad for The Choice is Yours.
2 sports questions, 2 non-sports questions.
They'll answer a couple of questions about life and sports. The Choice is Yours is built by Jarrett Companies. You have a choice. So when you have a need for site and utility work, fire protection, concrete and asphalt services, the choice is simple. It's Jarrett Companies. For more, visit JarrettCompaniesInc.com. The Choice is Yours. Wednesdays at 8:45 on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
I'm Fox 17 Code Red meteorologist Greg Bobe. It's a very warm day ahead of us. High temperatures, low 60s, fairly overcast, and the possibility of a few very light, isolated, short rain showers cannot be ruled out coming towards the afternoon.
Brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Losing your hair? It's Chase McCabe. No matter your age, gender, or type of hair loss, it's never a good feeling when you see too much hair in your brush or you begin to notice bald spots. For 45 years, Hair Club has helped more than 500,000 members get hair they love. If you're affected by hair loss and not sure what to do, let Hair Club help customize a solution for you. For a limited time, get 10% off when you book a free consultation today and get started at hairclub.com/chase. That's hairclub.com/chase.
Want to kick off the new year without any credit card debt? If that sounds good to you, you can do it with Loan Pronto's Express Equity line of credit. Wipe out all those credit card bills right now. Hey, Willie Donick here. Rates are down, and it's a great move to get on more solid financial footing for the new year. You don't have to do a full home refi. You can tap a portion of the equity you have and enjoy a rate that's a whole lot less than what the banks charge on credit cards. With Loan Pronto's Express Equity credit line, you can close in 7 to 10 days. You can access up to 95% of your home's equity. Use that money to pay off those high-interest credit card loans of any type. Credit cards, personal loans, car loans, whatever. Consolidate everything into one easy payment. Even if you did a whole total refi last year, you can tap the equity with this fast, easy program and keep your main loan intact. Call Loan Pronto, 615-499-5780. That's 615-499-5780, or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
Hey, it's Joe Rex here letting you know now is the perfect time to download FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, my personal sportsbook, because right now new customers are getting no sweat first bet up to $1,000. That's free bets back if your first bet doesn't win. All you have to do is sign up with the promo code Joe102. FanDuel, of course, has all your favorites, money line, point spread, player props, but you can combine them for a chance at a bigger payout with the same game parlay. If I was looking at Titans, Cowboys, I do like the Cowboys in this game. I think the Titans are just trying to get to the finale and see what kind of a team they can put together. I do think that I would still go, though, with a Derrick Henry anytime touchdown. I mean, he's going to show up and play hard. Do whatever you want. Just do it on an app that's safe, secure, super easy to use. Sign up again. Promo code Joe102 for that no sweat first bet. Promo code Joe102. Make every moment more this season with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. Refund issued with non-withdrawable free bets that expire in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. And if you have a gambling problem, call the Tennessee Red Line, 800-889-9789.
Robbie Stanley.
To avoid non-contact injuries and not repeat last year,
Joe Rexroad.
Just wait until next year's national TV schedule comes out.
Robbie and Rexroad. Mornings from 6 to 10 on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 and 106.3 The Game, and on the Game Nashville app. This is Chase, Willie, and D-Mace on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game, and on the Game Nashville app.
Chase, Willie, and D-Mace, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Last time I'll say that.
Yes.
Or fortunately, unfortunately. But that's the bittersweet part. Just announcing Caroline Fenton going to move into this slot, and it'll be Caroline, Willie, and D-Mace starting on Monday very, very cool. And I will join Michelle Knezovic 9 to 11 here as a part of our new weekday lineup on 102.5, 106.3 The Game. So looking forward to that, and already seeing a lot of kind words on Twitter. So, but there's business to take care of because the Titans have a game tonight against the Dallas Cowboys. I laughed at a text message we got earlier of somebody saying, why are you calling it a game? It's going to be a butt-whooping by Dallas. I mean, technically it's still a game. They still have to play.
Yeah.
And I've seen crazy things happen. But, as you just heard, Superbook has the line at 14. So 2 touchdown favorites are the Dallas Cowboys. No Tony Pollard tonight, but it will be Dak and company for Dallas, and Josh Dobbs getting the start for the Titans. So certainly going to be interesting, as it's going to be a winner-take-all for the Titans next week against the Jags.
Yeah, this game is I'm not going to say that the Titans have already conceded this game, but they've already conceded this game, it seems. With the guys that they're not playing, saving for next week, inserting another quarterback into the fold. This team is reeling right now. They haven't found a soft place to land, and I don't know if they will, Willie, this season. Yeah. So they're hoping that what they do tonight will help them next week when they travel down to Jacksonville.
I am not expecting them to win this game, but what I am really wanting to see is I want to see some competitiveness. I hope they at least go out and play hard and try to build something towards next week, the guys that are playing. Maybe you find a few pieces, a few players that are, turning the corner a little bit, like a Burks or a Haskins who's going to get a chance to play tonight, Okonkwo. Can there be some mini levels of progress that can give you a little better sense of what you have to bring to the table next week? And it all starts at quarterback. Of course, they've now elected to go with Josh Dobbs. And look, if you're going to start him tonight, I got to believe that if he does anything, he's likely to start the Jaguars game, I think. Or at least he has an opportunity to play his way into the starting role. If he plays half decent tonight, is there any way that they're going to go back to Malik Willis? I would probably say no. Now, if he completely – oh, absolutely. Are you kidding me? Like, if he plays well, I think they really want to see if they've got something better than Willis. They could always go back there, but and then there's that small sliver you hear. Maybe they're trying to pull the miracle, and Tannehill will try to play on one leg for the last game after this surgery. I don't know, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. And they will have some time to assess because this is a Thursday night game. But here's another thing I'm wondering. Can anybody remember a situation as unique as this, where you're actually resting guys the second to last week in order to be fresh for the final week? I can't think of a situation where this has ever happened.
I can't think of a situation in recent memory where you were a 98%. You had a 98% chance of winning the division 6 weeks ago or 5 weeks ago, and then all of a sudden now, those odds have dropped drastically to a point where it's even, and it probably even tilts more toward the Jacksonville Jaguars in this situation, considering how this team looks right now, with the injuries and everything else. So, the owner found the GM was unprecedented, and the fall from grace seemed to be the same way too. I can't see that. I don't remember this happening in recent years, a fall like this.
This is. It's hard to think about a situation that could match this. This is about as unique of circumstances you find. We see teams, rest guys in the last week of the season every year, but to do it in the second to last game, and we know why they're doing it. I think it's the right thing to do. I think this is exactly what they needed to do here tonight. But then have the ability to come back the following week and win a division at 8-9. I don't know that that's ever happened in NFL's history.
Well, I think you're about to see it. Now, I will say this. I'm a little surprised by you, Willie, because, Coach Willie, use the phrase that I don't expect them to win this game. I mean, that doesn't really fall under the Coach Willie. I mean, like any game, come on. Where's the whistle?
Yeah, expect to win. I'm just being an observer on that. Like I do think if you are the coach and you're Mike Vrabel, this is where he excels. I think he's going to have them ready to play and battling. I just, the circumstances are what they are. But I think what I want to see is I don't want to see a team mail it in. I want to see them really battle and do the absolute best they can out of the circumstances, which, as we just said, are maybe unprecedented. I don't know if any team's ever had to go through this before. This is a weird thing. And deep down, I think, Derek, I said this at the beginning of the show. You and Mike Vrabel, we had this discussion yesterday. I think it really pains a competitor like Mike Vrabel to have to do it this way, but he knows this is the best way. This is the only way. He doesn't really have a choice. He's got to do it this way.
So the time has come. I will be attending the game tonight. And for those that have listened for a long time, I don't hide my fandom. I grew up a Dallas Cowboys fan before the Titans moved here. A lot of family in that area. That's kind of where that came from. And the allegiance has obviously shifted to the Titans being the hometown team, but I've kind of pulled for both. They rarely play each other, and so I've only been in this situation a few times in my life, but I do have to have a rooting interest.
So where are you taking
I go to the game?
Where are you taking your fan talents to?
My fan talents. Well, look, the Titans need this one for morale. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what happens with them, it's all next week. But they just need this for the morale.
They do.
They're the hometown team, gone to a lot of games at Nissan Stadium. None of that matters. How about them
Cowboys? He tossed the Titans hat, y'all. Look at it. It's sitting over here next to me.
Sorry, Mike. You're not playing anybody. I mean, look, you don't forget your first love. My first love is that star.
It's them Cowboys.
Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, Michael Irvin, Primetime, Deion Sanders.
Alvin Harper. Who else?
Moose.
Jay Novacek.
Yeah, Jay Novacek.
Yep.
Come on, y'all had a stack squad back then. Big Nate Newton.
Yeah.
Man.
Look, Jimmy Johnson. So
Woodson.
I will be cowboyed out tonight.
There you go. Well, you have it,
but
people.
I do love the Titans.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
The suit has picked the Cowboys. He's taken his fan talent to the big star.
And let me be very clear that this is not a game pick because the easy pick is the Cowboys for sure. This is the who am I rooting for. So that's what that is. But I'll say this, guys. I'm going back on vacation. Going to finish my vacation, get ready for Monday. But it's been a lot of fun, absolute pleasure. I know that we're going to keep doing some stuff, and obviously I'll be around. But the last few months of Chase, Willie, and D. Mace have been awesome, and Nick's done a great job keeping us all in line, or trying to, as much as I may push back on him. Nick, lost in all this, Nick will actually – be producing both the midday shows, so he's still stuck with me, which will be good. But love you guys, and I know Caroline's going to do a fantastic job.
Thank you for your services, Suit. Thank you. We love you, man. And you'll never be gone.
That's right.
You're always there. Exactly.
The suit is ever present. The suit is ever present.
That is right. Stillman and Company coming up next here on 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
We out.
Stuck at work without a radio?
Wait a minute. Disastrous.
I hate that.
It's got to be there.
That's okay. Download the Game Nashville app or go to theGameNashville.com and listen live. We are Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Hey, it's Jared. Are you looking to